It's being shown to him, like things are, shown on video or, talked about through conversation, his ability to go out there and apply them in game. And so that's been positive as well.
That's a great scouting report on what Ben Kindle has done so far in the eyes of Dan Muse. And if you're interested, Bob Grove provided us with this in order from oldest to newest list of 18-year-olds to make the team out of camp. Pierre LaRouche, Roger Belanger, Doug Bodger, who was, I think, the youngest player in the league at that time playing defense, Craig Simpson, he had already played a year in college, Chris Joseph, former first-round pick, Jaromir Jagr, Robert Deme, who was taken in the first round. He's a Slovakian player who was drafted right here in Pittsburgh in '97, Marc-Andre Fleury, Sidney Crosby, Jordan Stahl, Daniel Sprong made the team out of camp, but he was sent back in the middle of the season. These other guys weren't. And Ben Kindle, another couple of players who got a chance to play as 18-year-olds. You may remember them, Richard Park and Todd Charlesworth, and Derek Pouliot, who was actually 20 years old. So there you go, an amazing list of great players, and Ben Kindle joins that list as an 18-year-old making it to the National Hockey League. Congratulations to him, and we will be back with 2 minutes with the old 2-9er in a moment on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
You know, I should have been a hockey player. My finances are 100% in the penalty box.
You should just put all that debt on ice.
Yeah, but how?
Well, when you get a home equity total line of credit, you can use that money toward making home improvements, consolidating debt, or anything, really.
Where'd you learn that?
I just made S&T Bank my bank, and they can also be your bank. You just got to drop the puck.
When it's time to set up a winning strategy, S&T Bank will get you in the game. Stop by a branch today or visit stbank.com/PensRadio to learn more. S&T Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Stay warm this winter with Glassmere Fuel Service, your MVP for heating oil and propane in Pittsburgh. Call 800-235-9054 or visit Glassmere.com. Glassmere Fuel Service, keeping your home warm at a competitive price, season after season.
Penguins fans, get savings of up to 20% when you choose from Flex plans starting at 3 games. Pick your games, pricing, and seats.
Spit out below the goal line, centering pass, big save by Sheilov. Second attempt, a sprawling save. He pounces on top of it, but it's still not frozen. Here comes Malkin hustling in, shot fired, second attempt, and he scores!
Don't miss out on the action this season. Get more information and choose your Flex plan today at www.pittsburghpenguins.com/flex.
No matter the occasion, there's always a reason to celebrate with a DQ ice cream cake. Creamy DQ soft serve and the chocolatey crunch center is great at any get-together. Customize yours today at DQ.com. DQ is the official ice cream and ice cream cake of the Penguins.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
This is the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network. This copyrighted broadcast is the property of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of all or part of this broadcast, or any descriptions or accounts of this game therein without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Penguins is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the Old 2-9er. 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 Welcome to the Old 2-9er.
Time for 2 minutes with the Old 2-9er. Brought to you by your Pittsburgh area Lexus dealers. Experience amazing.
Welcome to the Old 2-9er Pens and Wild tonight. We're joined now by former Wild first-round pick, current Penguins defenseman Matt Dumba. And Matt, I want to ask you first about, it's kind of ironic that here you are as a Pittsburgh Penguin, 2012 draft. You're drafted by the Minnesota Wild in Pittsburgh. That was a crazy draft, man. A lot of defensemen. 8 of the first 10 picks were defensemen. You were 7th overall by the Wild. What do you remember about that day?
To be honest, I don't remember too much about that day. Had a good week in Pittsburgh leading up to that, though. I was able to get on the ferry. I think I had some interviews on there, so the whole family got to come on that and see the city. But I had a pretty good group of Dumba supporters, my family, some friends, trainers, aunts and uncles. It was an amazing experience, and I was very, very privileged to share that moment with them.
I think it's safe to say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you really enjoyed your time here in Minnesota. You were entrenched in the community. You did as much off the ice as you did on the ice. A lot of friends are still on the other side over there. Is that all safe to say?
Yeah, for sure. When you play somewhere for 10 years, you build those bonds, not only with your friends, but with the community and just people that you see every day. So Minnesota's still home for me. Go back in the summer. It's always nice. It's always nice coming here and knowing that, I got some friends in the stands. I got some family there too. And yeah, no friends on the ice though.
It's a great start. Obviously, the obvious is a great start standing-wise. I think it's safe to say there's some things you guys need to tidy up defensively. Your goaltenders have been great. But can you kind of give me, I know it might be too early for you, Matt, because you're new as a Penguin, kind of the 30,000-foot view on what you've really liked so far from your hockey team?
I liked our resiliency. We're never out of it. And I think that's just a tribute to the character that we have in our room and also the skill level. You can't stay in games without that. And when we bear down and work hard and kind of get on the same page, we're a very difficult team to defend. So just looking for more of that. And like you said, just clean up some of those little details.
Thanks for doing this. All the best. Go get the Wild.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Matt Dumba. You got 2 minutes with the old 2-9er. Enjoy the hockey.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The latest news of the night.
Svechnikov and now Hamilton. Back for Andre. He's in for a shot. He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Pittsburgh brought to you by our founding partners, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Because life. Now it is time for the Highmark Injury Update.
For the Minnesota Wild, Mats Zuccarello, Nico Sturm, and Zach Bogosian are on the shelf. For the Penguins, Ricard Raquel, Kevin Hayes, Rutger McGroarty, and Caleb Jones are missing in action. If you would like to participate in the PA Lottery, you can do so online or at your local retailer. You must be 18 years old or older. You must play responsibly, please. And proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. And the jackpot for Saturday's drawing for the Powerball is $400 million. Joe and Phil have the call for you coming up. Penguins and Wild coming at you from Minnesota on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Looking for an easy way to go green? With Indra Energy's Green Tree plans, you can help reforest the planet just by powering your home. Green Tree plans are 100% zero emission, supporting clean energy and a healthier planet. Plus, earn tree plantings every single month based on your energy usage. Terms and conditions apply. Make the simple switch to a plan that gives back sustainably. Grow your forest today at greentreeplan.com. Indra Energy, a new way to power your life.
Now that Baird and Heffron Tillotson are one, we're proud to call Pittsburgh home. And with 8 locations in the region, we're even prouder to be helping so many of our neighbors build secure financial futures. From our big picture global perspective and business expertise, down to the personalized master plan we'll create based on your unique goals and dreams, your financial security is our first priority. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Pittsburgh. Robert W. Baird & Company, Incorporated, member SIPC.
Come celebrate Military Appreciation Night, presented by 84 Lumber at PPG Paints Arena on November 9th as the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the LA Kings.
Over to the point for Wotherspoon. He risks one. He scores! Connor Dewar with the solid.
All fans in attendance receive a camo hat presented by 84 Lumber. Puck drops at 2 p.m. Get your tickets today at PittsburghPenguins.com.
Gluten-free, check. Keto-friendly, check. Low-carb, check. High-protein, check. Nitrate-free, check. Flavorful and satisfying, check. When you want a meat snack that checks all the boxes, try the original Mr. Donair Beef Jerky and Sticks. With 12 grams of protein and just 80 calories, it's beef jerky like no other. Mr. Donair, the official jerky of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now available on Amazon.
They may rebound on the view. Hey!
Crosby. Backhanded pass. Russ scores! What a feed from Sidney Crosby for his 90th point of the season. Crosby centering past Malkin, trying to get a couple jabs in. And Getty Malkin from the seat of his pants joins the 500 club.
Welcome to a new era of Penguins hockey on the radio. The Pittsburgh Penguins Radio Network proudly presents Penguins Hockey. The Penguins Radio Network is presented by S&T Bank and brought to you in part by Number One Cochrane, Go One Better, by IC Light, by McDonald's, providing you the official burger of the Pittsburgh Penguins, by Get-Go Cafe and Market, Get-Go, where the Pens go, by Coca-Cola, founding partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, by Clearview Federal Credit Union, helping people enjoy a better life, and by Indra Energy, an official Penguins Pledge champion partner. Now, here's Joe Brand and Phil Bourne.
Game 2 of this road trip heads to the land of 10,000 lakes, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are looking to extend their 7-game point streak before the opening month of this season concludes, with the Minnesota Wild looking to park their rough start to the side. Those are the two teams in tonight's matchup. How's it going, Penguins fans? Alongside the old 2-9er Phil Bourque, I'm Joe Brand. Welcome to Grand Casino Arena. It's going to take a little bit to remember that one. But Bourque, tonight's lineup features 18-year-old Ben Kindle, who is slated to play in his 10th NHL game of his career, which starts the entry-level year of his contract. And the organization calls it the next step in the process of his development. But in other words, Ben Kindle has proven himself in this league, and the organization thinks it's valuable for him to stay.
It's awesome, man. He's earned it.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. He has absolutely earned it. It's baby steps, but they're steps forward. And even when he may take a baby step backwards, Joe, he corrects it and he goes out the next shift and does something another step forward. So 18, man, it's unbelievable. We haven't had this kind of breath of fresh air in a while, and it feels good.
And really no one could have seen what was coming in Ben Kindle's game, because during the preseason it didn't look like this. It slowly grew. Yeah. All of a sudden he's named to the opening night roster. That continues to grow. It should be worth noted that Harrison Brunick is out once again for the Penguins, so he still sits at 6 games currently for his NHL start. Let's talk about tonight's opponent, the Minnesota Wild. This is one of the few times we get to see one of these Western Conference teams, and John Hines' team right now in the Minnesota Wild are 3-5-3. But they're a physical team. They're 10th in the NHL with 245 hits. The Penguins, meanwhile, have the least amount of hits in the league at 177. I know you were very impressed with the Penguins' physicality, the kind of camaraderie they were able to gain together in that game against the Philadelphia Flyers. How much can you see of that game playing into this one here tonight?
I think it's going to have to. I think this is going to be a desperate team here because they had a great start last year. In the first 30 games, they were 26-4. And then they kind of lost their way, and they're basically 500 from there. And slow out of the gate here, and slow out of the gate on home ice. They're going to have a burr in their saddle. And so to your point, it is a physical team. They play heavy. They're in your face, heavy forecheck, and guys like Ben Kindle and a lot of the other players that are not big. We don't have a thumper, right, Joe?
Right.
We don't have that guy that jumps over the boards and go after Marcus Foligno if he's running Ben Kindle. But it's got to be a pack of wolves, right? It needs to be that team mentality, that all for one, one for all. If you punch one of us, then all of us are going to jump in there, and that's how they're going to have to do it. And it's a good sign because it seems like it only took a couple of guys like Parker Wotherspoon or a couple other guys, Matt Dumba, to kind of get in there, and everybody else is like, oh, okay, that's the way we're going to play? I like it because I'm not a big guy. I can't go toe-to-toe with Marcus Foligno, but if there's 2 or 3 of my mates have my back, then that team mentality might get the job done.
It's funny you bring up Parker Wotherspoon's name because I feel like this year 2 circumstances have happened that hopefully have brought this team together. Earlier in the last road trip in California, it was Parker Wotherspoon's delay of game penalty that helped jumpstart the Penguins' 4-game win streak. And then that night in Philly, where all chaos broke loose after overtime, obviously some camaraderie built together then, but as we walked into morning skate this morning, somebody, we don't know yet who, but somebody drew an outline of Parker Wotherspoon on the ice, and not even from the fracas with the Philadelphia Flyers. It was from a just unbalanced fumble from Parker Wotherspoon in that game, falling down to the ice, whiffed on a shot. They're having fun with each other, and they can do that right now, it feels, because they're off to a 7-2-2 start.
Don't roll your eyes at that. People think, oh, what does that mean? Like, oh, that's nothing to do with playing well or winning games. Yeah, it does, actually. It lightens the mood. It lightens the locker room. Any kind of tension you might have, that you just play free. Because, it's everybody chipping in. You make fun of me, I make fun of you, and we bust each other's cookies, and that's how you become boys, right? That's how you become bros, and it goes from like to love. And once you start loving each other and you start busting each other's cookies, it feels good, man. That's the hockey locker room mentality, man. That's when teams really come together.
All right, pal, don't bust my cookies too much tonight, okay?
I will.
Okay, all right, well, you'll get it back.
I will, I know.
That's the old 2-9er, Phil Bourque. Our opening night lineups are presented by Clearview Federal Credit Union. The top line for the Penguins, as Dan Muse continues with Philip Hollander, Sidney Crosby, and Brian Rust. Anthony Mantha, Evgeny Malkin, and Justin Brazeau continue on that second line. Tommy Novak, the Minnesota kid, with Ben Kindle playing in his 10th game in the NHL, along with Ville Koivunen, who's still on the hunt for his first career NHL goal. The fourth line, how can you bring him up right now? Connor Dewar, Blake Lizotte, who's another Minnesota native, and Nola Chari. Your defensive pairs are Parker Wotherspoon and Erik Karlsson, who may be the culprit of the prank heading into morning skate earlier today.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly. Ryan Shea is paired up with Chris Letang, and Owen Pickering and Matt Dumba, as you heard chatting with the old 2-9er earlier, drafted by the Minnesota Wild in Pittsburgh back in 2012. It's just his 6th career game against his former team.
Not to steal any of your thunder, Joe, but like Dan Muse has done, he's starting the Minnesota boys with Lizotte and Novak, and also former first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild, Matt Dumba, is on the blue line for your national anthem and starting lineup.
We'll have puck drop for you after the national anthem here from Minnesota. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Pens fans, can you believe it? 20 legendary seasons of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. And we're celebrating with 20 chances for you to win.
Malkin to Crosby, a duo that just won't quit. A power play goal.
It's the Big Three sweepstakes, with bobblehead game tickets, autographed collectibles, and Penguins memorabilia up for grabs. The best part, every entry helps support the Penguins Foundation. Enter now at penguinsweepstakes.com. That's penguinsweepstakes.com. And let's go Pens.
In Pittsburgh, champions aren't just born, they're built. And NSS Life has been part of that winning legacy for decades.
We've stood with the city's champions on and off the field,
building futures that are strong, secure, and built to last.
NSS Life is proud to be part of Pittsburgh's past and your future.
NSS Life, the official life insurance company of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
NSS Life, where family matters.
We're all set for hockey here at the Grand Casino Arena in Minnesota as the Pittsburgh Penguins get their first look at the Minnesota Wild. How's it going, Penguins fans? Alongside the old 2-9er Phil Bourque, I'm Joe Brand, and we are just thrilled to have you here with us for another edition of Pittsburgh Penguins hockey. Penguins come into this game 7-2-2. It's their second game of a 4-game road trip. They're coming off a shootout loss against the Philadelphia Flyers, but a game that Sidney Crosby tied things up in the third period, and a whole bunch of chaos and drama after that over in Philly before the Penguins fell in the shootout. They look to continue their 7-game point streak here tonight against the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota at 3-5-3 entering tonight's game as they host the Penguins for the first and only time this year. They are 1-2-2 here at Grand Casino Arena.
Penguins come into this game tied for most points in the National Hockey League with New Jersey, Utah, Colorado, and Montreal. Those other 4 teams are all idle tonight. So with a couple of points here tonight, you might wake up tomorrow morning with the #1 team in the National Hockey League, your Pittsburgh Penguins.
Away we go from Minnesota. Drop of the puck. Opening faceoffs brought to you by #1 Cochrane. Go one better. The Penguins attacking in their road white sweaters from left to right. They dump it into the Minnesota Wild zone. Wild in their home green sweaters with Philip Gustafsson in net. As the Penguins rotate around far point. Owen Pickering's shot gets blocked. Pulled away by Jonas Brodin. They'll softly dump it towards the Penguins end with Tristan Jarry in net for the Penguins tonight. As Jarry makes his 6th appearance against the Minnesota Wild with good numbers, 4-0-1, a .256 goals against average, a .913 save percentage. And last season, he got the start here in Minnesota after returning from Wilkes-Barre Scranton for the 2nd time. He earned the win. That started a 4-game win streak. In his last 19 games since that game, Tristan Jarry is 12-5-2.
His 2 career starts here in Minnesota. He's won them both.
The Penguins reset in their own zone with the top line out there. Sid gives it to Carlson, back over to Sid, but it jumps off his skate, taken by Vladimir Tarasenko. Now Joel Eriksson with a wrister and a stick save from Jarry. Steered it above the net in behind. Off against the glass. Wild try to keep it alive, but they get stripped of the puck. Parker Wotherspoon shovels it over to the near side for Brian Rust. The Wild send it down along the near boards again. It's escaped out to Carlson. Minute and a half gone in this game, no score. First of 2 matchups between these 2 teams. Penguins will host the Minnesota Wild on November 21st, so not too far of a turnaround for the second matchup between these 2 teams. Last time the Penguins were here was Marc-Andre Fleury's final game against the Penguins. Here's a shot on net, far point, second attempt. Foligno sent it wide. As Jarry has a hard time getting back up, he finally does in the crease. And now Malkin will pull it out. 2 minutes gone in this game as Mantha slings it down into the Wild zone. Took a weird bounce off the end boards, goes over to the near corner. It's flipped over to the far side, raced after by Faber, but Mantha keeps it alive in the Wild zone, pitches it up into the air into the slot. It's pulled down by Ryan Hartman. He sends it over to the far side, off the boards. It's played by Hinostroza. He'll dump it down into the Penguin zone. Foligno's got it, near circle. Pitches it over towards the slot. Couldn't connect with Hinostroza. Justin Brazeau lost his stick in the process. And the Penguins dump it down into the Wild end. Gustafsson plays it over to the far side. Now back to Middleton on the near end. Up ahead into the Penguin zone. It goes bouncing off the glass, tumbling in behind Tristan Jarry's net. Owen Pickering breaks up the play, but now it's loose in the near corner. Flipped along, it's Z. Bouillon. Sends it off the near boards, pulled out, now pushed away as Tommy Novak tries to create a little breakaway here. He's got it in the Wild zone, flips it up to the point. Dumbo wrist, a redirection, saved by Gustafsson to keep it scoreless 3 minutes into this game.
Nifty little play there by Tommy Novak. As you mentioned, a little bit of a bouncing puck for Tommy as he entered the zone. Left-hand shot, right side of the ice. Then he knew he was going to get pinched off as he tried to enter the zone, made a little spin move and found Matt Dumba coming late in the play. I like the shot selection by Dumba. No big slapper, no block shot, just wristed it towards the cage and went off the shin guard, the left shin guard of Philip Hollander, and didn't really have much juice from there. Right into the belly pad of Philip Gustafsson, and right off the face-off, another shot by Dumba, and that one into the solar plexus of Philip Gustafsson.
That one had a little bit more juice to it. As Dumba's playing in his 4th straight game, just the 6th against his former team in the Minnesota Wild. Been 10 years here, nearly 600 games. He had 79 goals, 236 assists. The Wild now dump it into the Penguin zone. Jarry plays it, but Boldy pulls it away from below the goal line. Looks it up top. Faber a drive, trickles through traffic and rolls to the corner on the near side. Spun around the boards, but Minnesota keeps it alive in the Penguin zone. Far half wall, it's pulled out by Hollander. Tries to chip it ahead to Brian Rust, but Faber got in the way. Taken away by Minnesota. Faber again in the Wild logo. Up ahead to Brodin. The Wild are offside. 3.5 minutes gone in this game. No score. Penguins out shooting Minnesota 2-1.
Well, when you think about the Penguins' first 11 games, most of those games they've had good starts. And that was something that we talked about last year, where there was more games that the Penguins were just sleepy at the beginning. that they were playing catch-up hockey from the beginning. Not so much this year. They're well prepared and ready for puck drop at 7:08.
They have scored first in their last 3 games. In the last 2 games back at home in Pittsburgh, they scored on their first shot. And then in the game against the St. Louis Blues, they scored on their first 2 shots. Overall this year, they've scored 11 goals in the first period. They've allowed, 11 goals in the first period. They've allowed 11 goals as well. That's the only period they're not outscoring their opponents, however. Penguins with the 5th best goals scored in the league on average, and the 5th best goals allowed in the league on average. They chip it down into the Wild end, pulled away by Middleton. Cleared it up, but not out. Dura, turnaround drive, and it gets patted out of the way by Gustafsson. Chopped along the near wall. Letang caught it down, but now a hand pass will stop the action. Just over 4 minutes gone in this hockey game. Still no score.
I'm really impressed in the way the Penguins in the offensive zone are just very responsible defensively. I know it sounds like, what's that, an oxymoron where you have a positive, but they continue to go for it in a very systematic way offensively, where there's a lot of diamond formations, and I mean close proximity. But the point I'm trying to make is that F3 is always thinking offensive, but there's an alarm that goes off in the brain of F3 to cover up and always be responsible if my defenseman wants to pinch down the wall. Again, that was not the case over the last 3 years.
Wild send it down into the Penguins' end, pulled away by Malkin. Takes a decent hit from Marcus Foligno as Ryan Shea snaps it up ahead to Mantha. Now rink wide to Letang over the Wild line. Centering pass to Brazeau, missed his stick. He tried to thread the needle to get it to Malkin. Surrounded by green sweaters, though, as Ryan Hartman pulls it away. He'll cut through the crease, get it to Hinostroza. Claimed off waivers last year by the Minnesota Wild, now in his 2nd year. As the Penguins crank it out of their zone, but Brodin settles it down in the near wall in the neutral zone. Brodin and Faber play catch, now dump it back into the Penguins zone. Around the boards to the far half wall, Tommy Novak gets to it, shovels it down deep. But Kaprizov tries to keep it alive. They'll fight for the puck in the corner. Sent around the near boards, pulled out by Ville Koivunen. Couldn't get a clean pass over to Ben Kindle, but the puck still goes tumbling down into the Wild zone. Brodin shovels it over to the far side, handled by Faber. Faber up ahead of the neutral zone to a speeding Marcus Johansson, dumps it down into the Penguins end, races after it along the end boards and gets sandwiched into the wall by Owen Pickering. Up to the near corner, now sent back down to the far boards. Quick shot on net, loose puck in the crease, and Jari stops it, then freezes it. On a pinball puck in the crease, he keeps it scoreless with a little over 14 minutes to play in this first period.
We've talked about Tristan Jari in the past, that we get a pretty good read on the temperature of Tristan Jari in the first 5 minutes. Here we are, 5 minutes and 50 seconds in, and it looks like the Penguins goaltender has come to play. He's had one little hiccup, and that was a shot that came in, a rebound that he probably should have been put into the corner and went onto the stick of Marcus Foligno. But other than that, Tristan Jari looks like he's dialed again.
Jari's 6th game of the season. Again, his 6th career game against the Minnesota Wild. Good numbers against Minnesota. The Penguins' goaltending tandem has just continued to be the right move. Sidney Crosby wins the draw around the boards in the Penguins zone. It squirts out to the neutral zone, but Boldy brought it offside. 14:05 to go in this first period. Still no score from Minnesota.
There's always been a tough arena to come and get points in. The Penguins have had success, not only overall against the Wild, but right here in Minnesota over the last few years. It's tough to look down at the home record of the Wild right now after 5 games, just 1-2-2. And they're starting to get into that dangerous territory. I know we're only a dozen games in here, but when there's a shot into Jari, controls that rebound. Finish that thought. Eric Sinek and Parker Wooderspoon are going to trade some dirty gloves. But you get behind that 8 ball, and you're rolling into November, and you're 5, 6, 7 points out of the wild card spot. It's a tough hill to climb.
They had a 7-game point streak to start the season last year. They're 3-5-3
entering into tonight's game. No score from Minnesota. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Here they come over the neutral zone to Rust. He shoots, he scores! Brian Rust with a goal! And you know what that means, folks? Rusty Shakes half off from Milkshake Factory.
You heard that right, Pittsburgh. Brian Rust here letting you know that I'm bringing back Pittsburgh's #1 milkshake. Rusty's Shake is a rich chocolate shake with oven-baked brownies, crushed cookies and cream, and hot fudge topped with whipped cream and a chocolate 17. When you hear this, come down to the Milkshake Factory for half-off shakes.
Kimberly-Clark Professional is proud to be a champion sustainability partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Together, they are driving change to help reduce impact through a commitment to sustainable products and services. Learn more at kcprofessional.com/sustainability.
It takes real beer to quench real thirst, to give you real satisfaction. Iron City Beer is the perfect result of the skill and knowledge developed through 164 years in the business. Go on, grab one.
Looking for a delicious power play off the ice? Download the GetGo app and get a free 6-piece order of juicy all-white meat chicken nuggets, plus a dipping sauce of your choice. Or are you craving something that could satisfy the appetite of a Penguins player after sudden death overtime? Good news! The Pilgrim is served. Gobble up the traditional holiday favorites of roasted turkey, tangy cranberry, savory gravy, and crispy tots piled high on delicious stuffing bread for a limited time. GetGo, the official convenience store of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
No score with a little less than 14 minutes to go in the first period. He's the old 2-9er Phil Bourque. I'm Joe Brand. We're in Minnesota, game 2 of this 4-game road trip. Penguins will take on the Winnipeg Jets in a couple of nights and then finish off things against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, the Jets are at home tonight, entertaining the Blackhawks.
The first game for Jonathan Toews against his former team. Here's a shot on net. Second attempt by Dewar, stuffed out by Gustafsson. As it started as a wrister from the far point, he ran after his own rebound. Almost got that to go, but the Penguins still with it in the wild zone. Wrister from Carlson at the near point, doesn't get through traffic. Goes over to the far corner, fight for the puck. It's pulled out by Yakov Trenin. He'll hustle it out to the neutral zone. Over on the far wing. Now feeds it over to Buyam. Jumped off his stick. Quick shot on net. Stick save Jari. A quick pass from Carlson. Went right in front of Jari in the Penguins' crease. Penguins kick it out to the wild zone, but Minnesota takes it back. Overhead now to Tyler Pitlick. Minnesota native will drop it down to the far corner. Carlson plays it along the boards. Drew one defender and then chipped it further away to Connor Dewar, another former Minnesota Wild. Over to the far side, Parker Wotherspoon drops it in deep. Penguins will get a change. Philip Gustafsson playing in his 5th game against the Penguins. A 1-3-0 record with a .404 goals against average. Wild back in the Penguin zone. Here's a drive and a save by Jari. On a one-timer from Middleton. It's right in between the rings. Not very far, but Jari stopping at point blank, keeping this game scoreless.
Where was this positioning, Joe?
Top the crease?
Top the crease, yes, sir. I mean, that's walking right down Main Street. That's a slap shot from, let me measure this out. I'm going to go 29 feet. Because from the dot, it's 25 feet to the goal, a little further than that. That's how close Middleton was and lets a slapper go. And on most goaltenders, that finds the 5-hole. And Tristan Jari, not only aggressive positioning, but trusting his reflexes to close those pillows and rob Middleton to keep it 0-0.
How many feet again?
25 from the dot, but it was 29 by Middleton.
I was going to say, you like that number, don't you? The Wild take it back in their own zone. The 5 saves from Jari, 5 from Philip Gustafsson. No score with 12 and a half to play in the first. Here's Kaprizov in the Penguin zone, far corner. Gets pressured towards the boards. He'll swing it deep and play it over as Chris Letang tries to pitch it over to the near side. He gets crunched into the wall by Marco Rossi. Those two fight for the puck along the near boards. Dug out by Kaprizov now. He'll flip it up to the point for Middleton. Snaps it over to the far side. Spurgeon a drive. Saved by Jari. Continues to keep this game scoreless with 12:04 to go in the first.
Good job there by Ryan Shea and Chris Letang to dig their heels in and get a little nasty in front of the net. Instead of that being a tough save for Tristan Jari, it was a routine save because the Penguins defenseman did a really good job of boxing out in front of their goaltender.
Making 6 saves for Tristan Jarry to start this one. Face off to the left of the Penguins goaltender, and the Wild win it. Rodin in the high slot to favor far point. Wrister saved by Jarry. Races out to get the puck. Swings it over to the far corner. Sid spins it back the other way to the near side. Dumba races it down. Pitches it out to the neutral zone. It goes tumbling into the Wild end. Brock Faber will pull it up. Slow things down behind Gustafsson's net. Brock Faber signing an 8-year extension last July. He's got 5 points this year, all of them coming in the last 2 games with 1 goal and 4 assists. Now snaps it ahead on the near side all the way down to the Penguins' end. Out of the reach of Boldy, though, and offside, or rather icing.
Yeah, no, this is the 3-line offside, Joe. Yeah, this is 3-line offside.
Because Faber had the puck behind the net for quite a while.
And so that's why the linesman was taking his hands, pointing his index fingers, and then rolling them around to say you're allowed to change because it's not icing to Minnesota's bench, to John Hines. You can change because it's not icing, it's offsides.
It's also the signal we get from producers and directors to wrap it up.
That's very similar. That's a great comparison.
Do you get that direction a lot?
A lot. And shut your mouth. Like, stop talking.
There you go. Nice save. Penguins back in the Wild zone. Dumbo over the line. Now to Crosby. Leaves it for Hollander in the near half boards. Down to the corner. He brings it. Plays it off the end wall for Rust. Up top to Wotherspoon in the high spot. Back to Rust in the corner. Touch pass to nobody at the near point. It goes out to the neutral zone. Penguins have to regroup. Under 11 to play in this first period from Minnesota. No score. Penguins being outshot 7-5. As Middleton takes it back into the Penguin zone over the line, but it gets broken up by Matt Dumba, sent the other way. Jared Spurgeon, Minnesota captain, pulls it up, brings it over to the far side. Ahead now to Ryan Hartman. Bursting into the Penguin zone. Curls around at the near point. Sends it rink wide to the far corner. Hinostroza plays it off the wall. Now the far half boards get slammed into the boards by Malkin. He tries to chip it out to the neutral zone, but Minnesota keeps it alive until now.
Offside.
Call offside on the Wild.
Yeah.
Did the puck elevate over the blue line?
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of a crazy play. Tough to get a feel for where that puck was relative to where the blue line was when it was up in the air from the vantage point of the booth up here.
Face-off will go at the far left dot in front of the Penguins bench. Malkin against Rossi. And Malkin wins it. Penguins control. Carlson on the near side, got it up to Mantha, who taps it down into the Wild zone near corner. Flipped along the boards, but Middleton pries it out of the air. As Rossi sends it up ahead, but too far out of the reach of Johansson. That'll be icing by the Wild. 10:07 to go in this first, still scoreless.
Bumped into general manager of the Wild, Billy Guerin, just before coming on the air.
It always seems to happen.
Yeah, the word that comes to mind when I see Billy G, and I talk to him for a couple minutes, jovial. He's never in a bad mood. And even when he's in a bad mood, he's jovial.
He may have had the quote of the year, introducing Kirill Kaprizov and his new extension, which will refrain from reciting it to a
G-rated.
T.
Make it G-rated, buddy.
Exactly. There's FCC regulations out there we got to keep in mind.
We haven't got kids listening.
But people were asking, are you excited? Billy Guerin said, he better be excited as they score. And who is it? It's Kirill Kaprizov. He's excited as he takes some celebration with his teammates in the near corner on the doorstep. A snap pass from the far side. And Kirill Kaprizov has his 7th goal of the season. It's 1-0 Wild with 9:44 to go in the first.
I don't think he shoots this in. I think it goes off his skate or shin guards, Joe. It's a pretty good job by the Wild entering the zone. And Chris Letang is there. And I thought Tanger did a decent job of taking the stick. I haven't got a good replay of you to see if this actually hits Kaprizov. It does hit his stick. So Tanger didn't do as good a job as I thought. Tanger's there, but Tanger takes his stick and kind of puts it around the waist or the chest of Kaprizov. If Tanger comes into Kaprizov, gets under his stick, and gets his hands up in the air, that puck ends up in the corner. Kaprizov, I don't know if he saw that pass because he was blocked by Letang, but it did go off his stick and in. Backdoor, no chance for Tristan Jarry.
That really was a beauty of a pass by Marcus Johansson from the far corner. Just snapped it right to the tape of Kirill Kaprizov. Now they get a stretch pass ahead as they're looking for Yurov. He can't bring it into the Penguin zone cleanly. To the near corner, it's fought for, spun around the boards. 1-0 Minnesota with 9 minutes to go in this first period. Now Yurov, far circle. Here's a shot, goes wide of the net. Quick wrister from Tyler Pitlick. Penguins clear it out, they'll get a change. Minnesota out shooting the Pens now 8-5. Brodin feeds it to Faber, up ahead to Joel Eriksson Ek, taps it into the Penguin zone. Now it's dumped down in behind Jarry's net. Played to the near side by Boldy. Swept up to the point for Brodin, snapped over to Faber. His shot hits the side of the cage after Jarry got it first. And then one of the Wild trying to tuck it home on the far side, but Wotherspoon got in the way. Jarry freezes it. And with 8:33 to go in the first, we'll go to a break. Minnesota with a 1-0 lead on Kirill Kaprizov's 7th goal of the year. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
If your fantasy football team is trapped in the upside down, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio can help.
The truth is out there. You just got to make the playoffs, and then you can make a run at that thing regardless of what your seed is.
No tricks here. Only treats. Turn your nightmarish season around with the experts of Fantasy Sports Radio.
Sell high after a huge performance. That's where the value is.
On Channel 87 and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid, and they need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Penguins trailing Minnesota 1-0. We've got 8:33 to play in this first period. Kirill Kaprizov with the only goal. 8 saves for Tristan Jarry, and the Wild have come out strong, Borky, just as you had advertised.
It's just what we figured from the Wild. You mentioned they come into this game just 3-5-3 and 9 points. And we know how competitive this Western Conference is, that they knew they're going to make some hay here.
False face-off as Ben Kindle will check out. Tommy Novak will come in. Novak, the Minnesota native. 4 years at the University of Minnesota. Shot on net, kind of half-hearted as one of the Penguins slowed it down. Sticked out of there by Jarry, and now Ben Kindle with some speed on the far side of the neutral zone. Penguins dump it in, but it hits the curved glass. 8:23 to go in this first one up in Minnesota.
It's that curved glass just to the left of Jesper Wallstedt, the backup goaltender for the Wild.
Again, last time the Penguins were here was Marc-Andre Fleury's final game against the Penguins. Pens won that game 3-1. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin scored on their old buddy Marc-Andre Fleury. And the next time they were all out on the ice together was in a preseason game on the same team.
Yeah, Sid had 2 goals. One was an empty netter, but the one against Flower was a memorable one.
As everyone knows, Marc-Andre Fleury, the one with all the pranks, but it looks like Sid got the last laugh of the career-long duels. Wild are back in the Penguin zone. Boldy feeding it to Eriksson Ek at the far corner, and now it's taken by Tarasenko. He'll try to snap a pass over. Fight for the puck in the crease, and finally taken away by Wotherspoon. He'll chip it up into the air. Tumbles out to the neutral zone. Penguins get a change. Up ahead quickly to Eriksson Ek. He dumps it in around the boards as Jari slows it down with his stick.
Eriksson Ek just accidentally high-sticked Erik Karlsson in the face, no call. Both Eriksson Ek and Karlsson were looking at the referee, both of them looking, Eriksson Ek looking guilty and Karlsson saying, "You kidding me, no call?"
There's a turnover, Hartman a drive and a pad save from Jari. 1-0 Minnesota, 7:05 to go in this first period. Here's over to Malkin in the wild zone now. Stops on a dime, far circle, feeds it to Ryan Shea, cruising into the zone. Takes it down to the near corner, around the net, backhand try. Didn't get a clean shot. Malkin a drive, he scores! A turnaround shot from Evgeny Malkin in the slot. And he ties the game up at 1 with 6:54 to go in the first period.
Now hold the phone here. We're having some conversations. Is there goalie interference here? The Stripes have all huddled. Here's your quick call.
The call on the ice and the judgment of the on-ice officials is that Pittsburgh number 16 made contact with the goaltender in the goal crease. He was not allowed to reposition himself. Therefore, this is goaltender interference, no goal.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Very rarely do we get this call on the ice of the on-ice official calling goaltender interference. Now it's up to Dan Muse as he's talking with his staff. Was Brazeau pushed in at all with the contact from Middleton? And Middleton's falling forward. Middleton actually gets hurt as his head collides with his goaltender, Gustafsson. They collide heads. This is an interesting one.
Timeout, Pittsburgh.
Whoa, how about that? So Dan Muse thinks this one is so close, I'm going to use my timeout right now to give me more time and my staff more time to look at this one to see if we're going to challenge. Because the referee came over and said, "Hey Dan, what are you going to do here?" So he used his timeout. When's the last time you've seen that? If ever, use your timeout to look at a possible challenge longer.
I can't say ever. And you're right, it's Middleton and Brazeau tangled up.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to say that Middleton pushed Brazeau into it. It looks like they're just kind of tangled up.
Yeah.
Brazeau is kind of clunky coming around Middleton.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't think the Penguins are going to challenge this. I don't think they are. I think it's just too close. And Minnesota's got the #1 power play in the league, so if you're wrong...
Pittsburgh is challenging the call on the ice that there was no goaltender interference.
Oh, man, here we go. Well, you've used your timeout. You're challenging the call on the ice. And if you're wrong, you're putting the #1 power play on the ice down a goal. Yeah, and maybe, sorry to interrupt you, but maybe, to finish my thought, maybe you do this because it's so early in the game.
That's fair. And, I mean, maybe there's a bit of a thought. We call the timeout. We've already gone this far. We might as well try.
And I'm just seeing a reverse angle here of Middleton's leg in behind Brazeau. And so Middleton's falling forward. He's falling over, and his back leg is pushing, guiding Brazeau towards Gustafsson.
And Middleton is making more contact with Gustafsson than Brazeau.
Because he's falling forward. He was trying. Here we go.
After coach's challenge video review, the call on the ice is confirmed. There was goaltender interference, no goal.
Oh, boy.
Pittsburgh is assessed a minor penalty for delay of game.
That's a rough sequence.
That's a rough sequence. And that's why this goaltender interference, it's a tough one to challenge, man. It's so tough. We've talked about it so many times about the Penguins being so good at challenges for offsides. But when it comes to goaltender interference, they're now 16 for 36. I don't know what that percentage is, but they came in at 45%. I talked about this the other night. When it comes to offsides, the Penguins are at 72% being correct. And now they're going to drop closer towards 40% for challenging goaltender interference.
It's one of those calls where I think the video review doesn't provide enough evidence to overturn it. If the on-ice official did not call goaltender interference in real time
here.
There is an on-ice repair needed, therefore we're going to take a TV timeout.
Well, you can never over-communicate in this business. We appreciate that. The Penguins will be shorthanded when we come back from the break and the on-ice repair. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Minnesota Wild with under 7 to play in this first period. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by OCT Bank.
This is Labatt, brewed for the hockey fans who yell, "Shoot it" from the cheap seats, and scream, "Ref, you suck," like it ever worked. You pound on the glass, spill your beer, and still act like you're running the power play. But hockey wouldn't be hockey without fans like you and a Labatt in hand. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Go to Mario's 410 Grill. $4 Labatt Blue 20-ounce drafts during all Pens games.
We celebrate the brave, the powerful, pink ribbon wearers and supporters who turn the fear and uncertainty of a breast cancer diagnosis into strength and hope. At UPMC, we're here to support you with screenings, compassionate experts, and innovative therapies, because we know that sometimes you just need someone by your side through every step of the journey. Learn more at upmc.com/breast cancer awareness.
This Pittsburgh Penguins moment is brought to you by the officers, members, and families of Local Union Number 5 of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Our members have lived and worked in the region since 1897, providing all of the electrical and telecommunications needs of commercial, industrial, and residential customers. We offer a state-of-the-art training center that is second to none and internationally recognized. Local Union Number 5 of the IBW will be here to stand by you for all of your electrical installation needs today and well into the future. Our members show their hometown pride supporting the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguins trail 1-0 to the Minnesota Wild with 6:54 to play in this first period. And they're about to be shorthanded for the first time tonight for the next 2 minutes. And the Minnesota Wild now have the top power play in the NHL at 31.8%. Just 2 games ago, the Penguins had the top power play unit. A couple of nights ago in Philly, it went down to 2. They're still top 10. Penguins with the 6th best power play right now in the NHL, but their PK at 15, and they need a big kill right here. It looked like the Penguins had tied things up, but there was a goalie interference call on the ice. The Penguins called a timeout to really look at it. They chose to challenge. The call was confirmed, so the Penguins are now assessed a 2-minute minor. And Dan Muse just a moment ago was still talking to the official. And as we went to a long break, I understand why they made the call, because it did look like Jake Middleton made more contact with the goaltender Philip Gustafsson than Justin Brazeau did.
Yeah. And I mentioned I got a reverse angle on Middleton's left leg was in behind Brazeau, guiding him into the Minnesota goaltender. But that's why that call on the ice is so important, right? If it's a good goal, do you think Minnesota challenges it? You know what I mean? Probably not, right?
But if they do, I don't see it being overturned.
Yeah, exactly.
Here come the Penguins shorthanded. Ryan Russ, far circle, centering pass, kicked out by Gustafsson. And it goes spring-loaded all the way over to the near point. The Wild take it the other way. Boldy into the Penguins zone with Minnesota on the power play. 20 seconds gone and the Penguins kill. Eric Gustafsson cranks it around the boards, but not out. Kept alive by Spurgeon at the near point. Tarasenko back up to Spurgeon. The high slot. Tarasenko wrists one, saved by Jari. And he absorbs it right away as Carlson in front of the crease. Nearly got tabletopped by Eriksson Ek. A little gathering in front, but the Penguins, Tristan Jari, keep it 1-0 Minnesota with 6:21 to go in this first. 1:28 on the penalty kill.
A couple of Swedes going after each other. Carlson and Eriksson Ek. Gotta like that. No friends.
Eriksson Ek probably saying, hey, Eric, say hi to some of my friends and family in a couple of weeks when you guys are out there. Face off to the right of Jari. Nola Chari against Eriksson Ek, and Chari shovels it down to the corner. Penguins control. Blake Lizotte, another Minnesota native, slings it all the way down to clear it. with 1:20 to go on the Penguins PK.
I don't know if it came through our mics or not. It came through my headset. You could just hear multiple players, including Tristan Jarry, screaming to Lizotte, time, 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 time. And Lizotte was able to settle that puck down and get it down 200.
It's been a staple on this Penguins PK the last 2 years as Wotherspoon spits it out to the neutral zone. Wild take it back into the Penguins end. Near point, Tarasenko. Cross ice to Kaprizov. Jumped off his skate. Wide of the net. Centering pass to Eriksson Ek, but Jarry keeps it out. And the Penguins shovel it on down. A clearing attempt by Blake Lizotte once again.
Well, Erik Karlsson's mad at himself, and I get it. Because he was standing next to Eriksson Ek, but he didn't take the stick of Eriksson Ek, and Tristan Jarry had to make an incredible right pad save to keep it 1-0 Wild.
Jarry's made 11 saves tonight. 30 seconds to go on the Penguins PK. They've got the puck. They clear it down again. Gustafsson to play it off the near corner. Brock Faber with it. Snaps it up to Johansson. 15 seconds to go on the Penguins PK. Wild back in the Penguins zone. Down to the far corner. Ryan Shea clears it down to the neutral zone. Faber stopped it with his skate. He's got to wait for his teammates to get back on side. Standing up in the box is Novak. 2 seconds, 1. Penguins have it along the boards. Can't clear it out just yet. Still in the circle. Trying to get a stretch pass ahead to Novak, but couldn't. They get it out to the neutral zone. We're back to 5-on-5. Penguins kill off the penalty. Still 1-0 Minnesota with 4:40 to go in this first. Here's Hartman cruising into the Penguins zone. Around the boards over to the near corner. Lays it up to Crosby. Near side, he'll flip it over to Pickering at the far corner. Fits it up along the boards as Koivunen taps it out to the neutral zone. Wild take it back. Middleton and Brodin. They dump it down into the Penguins end. Jarry flips it out to Koivunen. Now up ahead to Sid. Jumped off his stick in the neutral zone. Wild take it back. Foligno chips it into the Penguin zone near side. Koivunen pitches it out to the neutral zone. Minnesota grabs it back again. Middleton into the Penguins end. Far corner, crunched into the boards with a shoulder from Owen Pickering. Slowly along the far wall. Malkin broke it up, but the Wild still control it. Brodin near point. Half wall. Wrister doesn't get through traffic. Hollander picks up the loose puck in the near corner. Hustles it up. Clears it out to Koivunen into the neutral zone, but the Wild take it back again.
And Penguins survive a tough sequence there. And now shots are 12-5 Minnesota.
There's a backhanded shot by Hinostroza. Jarry kept it out. Brazeau looking to clear it, but can't just yet. Kaprizov's got it in the Penguin zone. Near half wall. Stripped of it by Malkin. He sends a rink-wide pass to Mantha. Carry it up to the neutral zone. His pass goes off a Wild skate. Loosely over to the near side as Karlsson will finally chip it on down to the Wild zone. Played off the near corner by Gustafsson. He swings it over to the far side. Johansson's got it. Backhand pitches it to the neutral zone. Ryan Shea boxes out Marco Rossi to keep the puck alive, but his pass goes off another Wild skate deep into the Penguin zone. Luckily, Tang is the only one there. Wild get a change. 3 minutes left in the first. 1-0 Minnesota. Around the boards to the far corner. Jumps off the skates of David Juracek. Over to the near corner. Flipped along the wall. Pulled out by Hartman. He gets some space. Sends it over to the far side. Foligno dumps it into the Penguins end. But Tang sends one of the Wild into the boards hard, who goes down to the ice as Ryan Shea tries to play, but it's pulled away by Hartman. Flipped ahead of the high slot as there was Tyler Pitlick losing his helmet on the play. Now Z Buyaman behind the net. Almost had Jarry on a string played out. The Wild kick it ahead to the near side of and Tommy Novak tried to clear it out to the neutral zone. Hartman takes it back. Centering pass, and it couldn't connect with Trennan, who just whiffed on a one-timer right in the crease. And now we're going to get a tripping penalty on the Penguins.
The Penguins are complaining that Boldy either dove or was just falling down on his own. And Brian Rust vehemently arguing the call here. And the stripes are going to come together. And maybe this will be a non-call. Just hold the phone here. This is usually when stripes come together this quick, it's like, hey, I saw some
penalty. Number 17, 2 minutes tripping.
It is going to be on Brian Rust. It's a big sequence in this game. It really is, because it looked like the Penguins had tied this game on a Malkin goal. Ended up being goaltender interference. And they kind of survived the penalty from getting the challenge wrong. But now the ice has been tilted, Joe. There's a lot of momentum going for the Minnesota Wild, and the Penguins need to survive this power play again.
And with the luxury of replay, it did not look like a tripping penalty.
And you got one of your best penalty killers sitting in the box in Brian Rust.
Yeah, Rust was kind of going at Boldy with a shoulder, and the shoulder knocked Boldy a little bit to the side. The stick may have hit the skate, but not by much. Boldy, a wrister wide of the net.
It's a rolling puck. Boldy tried to get it off the stick quick. And it went about 6 feet wide, blocker side on Jari.
Luckily rebounded all the way down to the Wild end. Gustafsson plays it as the Wild cut through the neutral zone. Eriksson into the Penguin zone, stuffed into the boards by Parker Wotherspoon. Blake Lizotte pulls the loose puck but can't get a clean handle of it. They fight for the puck in the far corner. 1:20 to go on the Penguins' kill. They trail 1-0 with just 1:30 to go in this first period. Wotherspoon doing a nice job of milking off more time. The Wild finally take it out. Here's Tarasenko near circle. Touch pass, far circle, drive, doesn't get through traffic. Parker Wotherspoon with a huge block shot, and he is down right now.
That was a one-timer from Boldy, and that dangerous about 20 feet away, and hit Wotherspoon, and I think in the midsection. And oh man, you could feel how much pain he's in from up here, and he is doubled over at the Penguins bench, still in a boatload of pain.
They didn't even open up the door for him to get on the bench. He just teeter-tottered over the boards. The Wild chipping into the Penguin zone. Here's Boyum leaving it back for Marco Rossi to the corner now, below the goal line. Flips it up to the near point for Faber. 30 seconds on the Penguins' kill. Hartman above the near circle to the slot. Centering pass kicked out by the Penguins. They're trying to send it back deep down to the corner to the Wild. The Penguins slow things down, get it to Achari. He'll clear it down into the Wild end. 15 seconds to go on the Penguins' PK. 30 seconds to go in the period. 1-0 Minnesota. They're out shooting the Pens 13-6. Johansson to Hartman over the Penguins line. Chips it off the end boards. 3 seconds to go on the Penguins' kill. Rust out of the box. And they're standing up. Now he's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Another successful kill for the Penguins against the top power play.
That was a really good penalty kill. Aggressive penalty killing. In-your-face penalty killing.
4 seconds to go in the period. Cleared out by the Penguins. Rather a missed pass by the Wild, but they'll take it. And the Penguins kill off 2 huge penalties in this first period. For a moment, they thought they had the equalizer, but it's a 1-0 lead for the Wild through 20 minutes. And Minnesota out shooting the Pens 13-6.
I don't feel like the Penguins played a bad period.
I agree.
I just felt like the Wild played a better period. That's all. The Penguins they weren't lackadaisical. They didn't come out slow. I thought they had a good start. It's just unfortunate that the Kaprizov is the difference maker here in the first period, but also shots 13-6. A big part of that was because of the momentum that Minnesota gathered after the Malkin goal was disallowed.
Yeah, if I were to tell you that the Wild were going to have 2 power plays in the first and a lead, I think you would have thought it'd be a lot worse than a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah.
That's what the Penguins are dealing with right now. Brian Metzer is standing by. He'll have the first intermission report for us as the Penguins trail the Minnesota Wild 1-0 here in Minnesota. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. What the heck could it be?
It's your head coach.
Who's that?
That's Dan Muse. He is hungry.
Oh, my
He
goodness.
is hungry.
He is hungry.
To get a winning hockey
So
team.
I'm at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what
It's
it
your
says?
blood going?
You know what it says to me,
What's
Phil?
that say to you?
It says 1, 2, 3.
What Richard and Phil are really trying to say is, your perfect Ford is already waiting. With over 1,500 vehicles in stock, from tough F-150s to family-friendly SUVs, there's a Ford in your future, and you can find it right now at Schultz Ford.
Penguins fans, get savings of up to 20% when you choose from Flex plans starting at 3 games. Pick your games, pricing, and seats.
Spit out below the goal line, centering pass, big save by Sheilov. Second attempt, a sprawling save. He pounces on top of it, but it's still not frozen. Here comes Malkin hustling in, shot fired, second attempt, Mantha, he scored!
Don't miss out on the action this season. Get more information and choose your Flex plan today at www.pittsburghpenguins.com/flex.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins Pathway to Net Zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
It takes real beer to quench real thirst to give you real satisfaction. Iron City Beer is the perfect result of the skill and knowledge developed through 164 years in the business. Go on, grab one.
Keeping your home warm in the winter and cold in the summer, Mitsubishi Electric is a top manufacturer of heating and air conditioner products. And they're hiring. To elevate your career in engineering, project management, product assembly, and more, visit meppi.com/careers.
This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
And welcome into our first intermission report where the Penguins trail the Minnesota Wild 1-0 after one period of play at Grand Casino Arena. Brian Metzer here with you, and the period started off kind of like a little bit of a tug of war, but it shifted towards the Minnesota Wild. They got the first goal of the game at 10:16 off of the stick of Kirill Kaprizov, his 7th of the season, from Johansson and Rossi. And from there, the Penguins were trying to punch back a little bit. It looked like they got the equalizer from Evgeny Malkin. Unfortunately, goaltender interference, a timeout, and then a review. The goal stays overturned, and it's a 1-0 lead for Minnesota. The Penguins then kill off a couple of penalties. The PK was heavily involved, and I would say two of their more impressive PK opportunities in the last week or so, because they have slipped in that capacity a bit, but not tonight. They were able to get the kills that they needed. It was a delay of game for first the unsuccessful challenge at 13:06, and then Brian Rust went to the box for tripping at 17:45, and they were able to get a kill there. Unfortunately for them, though, Parker Wotherspoon looks like he was hurt blocking a shot from Matt Boldy. We'll see if he's okay. He kind of had to get himself off the ice after that kill and looked a little bit worse for wear. So we'll keep an eye as we move through the rest of this game to see if he's going to be able to continue for the Penguins. They were outshot in the period, though, 13-6, and I think Phil Bourque summed it up beautifully when he said, Penguins didn't necessarily play a bad period, but the Minnesota Wild played a better period, and that is the story of where we stand right now. When we come back, we're going to catch up with Jess Myers and talk about this game and a whole lot more. He is the Wild beat reporter for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Stay here for that conversation next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com. and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hey, Pens fans, Colby Armstrong here. As the official security partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the local team here at Vector Security is committed to protecting homes and businesses throughout southwestern PA. They are headquartered here. Their families eat, shop, and go to school and church in our communities. So they have a vested interest in keeping the homes and businesses of our neighbors safe and secure. Visit vectorsecurity.com/pens for a free security assessment that will address your unique needs. That's vectorsecurity.com/pens.
Oh, did you not see that insane play? Why are you on your phone right now?
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the next move for my business.
Sounds like you can use an extra player on your team.
Yeah, like a business power play.
Well, whenever I use S&T Bank, it feels like they're my team of experts ready to help me score big. You should talk to a banker at S&T to learn more and get all the benefits of having an extra player on the ice.
When it's time to set up a winning strategy, S&T Bank will get you in the game. Stop by a branch today or visit stbank.com/pensradio to learn more. S&T Bank, member FDIC.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, Coca-Cola and the new Coke Zero, founding partner of the Penguins. Now, back to the Penguins Live Intermission Report with Brian Metzer.
And welcome back into our first intermission report where the Pens trail the Wild 1-0 after one period of play in Minnesota. Brian Metzer here again with you and joined now by Jess Myers. He's a Wild beat reporter for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Jess, thanks so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Always great to talk hockey. And I was going to say, Brian, I'm not a conspiracy theorist unless the Vikings happen to be playing at Lambeau Field. But a little history. The referees in tonight's game were the same guys who did the Wild game just the other night. In that game, Matt Boldy got an absolute phantom high-sticking call against him that they actually went and apologized for after they looked at the review because his stick wasn't anywhere near the player's face. The player had gotten hit by a puck in that game. And then Matt Boldy happens to get a really nice call tonight against Brian Rust, a tripping call when the replay showed it was just a perfect open ice check. So again, not a conspiracy theorist, but that one looks a little smelly.
Well, who says things don't come back around in the NHL? We know how that works. They always try and return favors from time to time, so I appreciate you sharing that because I'm sure Penguins fans were like, wait a minute, what's going on with this call? Speaking of calls, what was your take on the goaltender interference? The main thing for us was we were shocked to see a coach take a timeout to study it a little bit longer. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, that was surprising. And it's a big risk to challenge that call for the simple fact that, with the way the rules work now, you get a penalty if it's unsuccessful. That's what happened. Now, Minnesota came into this game with the top power play in the NHL, so putting them a man up, again, is dangerous. The Penguins managed to kill off 2 penalties in that period, which is a big potential, keeping them in the game, because if Minnesota goes up 3-0 early in their own building, that's a tough hill to climb. Now, on the flip side of that, I just have to say, weird call, and who knows what constitutes goalie interference anymore. It looked to me a little bit like Brazo was tied up with the defenseman.
Yes.
Maybe, got coerced into the net, all that. He definitely did make contact with the goaltender, but it's such a judgment call as to whether he made the contact on his own, if it was the defenseman pushing him in, all of that. So again, I think it's safe to say Minnesota got a nice break there. I guess I don't mind Dan Muse challenging the call just because it was such a close one and you just don't know which way it's going to go. And they came out of it relatively unscathed, other than, of course, losing the goal that was on the board.
Yeah, for sure. And if you ever figure out what goaltender interference is in the league these days, please hook me up with that information because it's seemingly different all the time. I know
it's absolutely as clear as what's a catch in the NFL. We all know what that is, right? And a football move and all that other stuff that they want us to believe.
Yeah. Former Steelers tight end Jesse James would like a conversation about that as well against the Pats a couple years ago. You know what I wanted to ask you? You wrote about Kaprizov maybe pushing a little bit too hard these days, trying to will his team to victory. I know he got the goal here tonight. Is he getting thank you notes from around the league, though, for his contract, just based on the fact that everybody getting big bucks now after he signed his?
A little bit of a sticker shock there, I would say. The fact that it wound up costing $17 million. To Bill Guerin's credit, he was kind of put behind the 8 ball a little bit in the contract negotiations because more than a year ago, long before he was ever, going into his negotiating period, the owner of the Minnesota Wild, Craig Leopold, said to all of us, nobody's going to offer him more money, nobody's going to offer him more years than the Minnesota Wild will. So I guess it's not surprising that, yes, they made a huge offer of $16 million a year for 8 years, and Kaprizov's agent said, you can do better than that. And lo and behold, they could do better than that. They made it $17 million. They got him signed. It is the largest deal in NHL history. But as I pointed out at the time, for people panicking, number one, the salary cap's going up, so you're not going to be as hamstring as you would have been, 10 years ago or so. And number two, he's not going to be the highest paid player in the NHL for very long. The way inflation is happening, it will change pretty quickly. A little bit of history. At one point, Kirby Puckett of the Minnesota Twins was the highest paid player in baseball. It lasted for like 5 days.
Yep.
and then somebody else got more money. I think it was, I can't remember who, Jose Canseco or somebody.
Yes.
So, it's an upward mobility thing, and it's nothing to panic about, I guess.
No, we'll see how it plays out. I know that happens in the NFL almost daily, too, with those linebackers. Jess, thank you so much for your time. Let's do this again soon. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Always great to talk hockey. Thanks.
Take care. That is Jess Myers, the Wild beat reporter for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. When I come back, a couple news bites on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Pittsburgh Penguins tickets at Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Penguins and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, so you can catch all the action live all season long. If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Penguins.
What are two things the Pittsburgh Penguins have in common with Cleveland Brothers Equipment Company? Hard work and dedication. If you're looking for heavy equipment, need a specific part, or want expert service, talk to the industry leaders at Cleveland Brothers, your local CAT dealer. We provide solutions and products for construction, landscaping, oil and gas, electric and industrial power, highway, and more. Let us help you score the winning goal. Visit www.clevelandbrothers.com to learn more.
Tender Care Learning Centers, the early education professionals, has been providing quality child care and preschool education for over 40 years. To find one of our 20 convenient locations near you, visit tendercarelc.org. Tender Care Learning Centers is the child care provider of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Protecting your assets should not be. When it comes to insurance, employee benefits, or surety bonding, rely on the industry experts at Suber to help you minimize risk, maximize potential, and improve your bottom line. Suber, an official partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, back to the Penguins Live Intermission Report with Brian Metzer.
The Wild lead the Penguins 1-0 after one period of play at Grand Casino Arena. Brian Metzer back here with you, and the goal scorer was Kirill Kaprizov. You just heard me and Jess Myers talking about him and how he kind of was the spearhead for all these contracts that have been signed recently. So we'll keep an eye on him as well as the rest of his team as we move forward in this game to see if the Penguins can get it equalized. When we come back, second period action with Joe Brand and the old 2-9er Phil Borg from Grand Casino Arena on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Country music's next generation.
If you got a fire, don't lose it.
Hey, North America, it's Jelly Roll.
This is Lainey Wilson.
Hey, y'all, it's Luke Combs.
And this is Morgan Wallen.
That's The Highway.
A channel where Nashville stardom seekers
Nobody likes your girlfriend.
Become national headliners.
For new country, no commercials.
The destination is The Highway, Channel 56.
Or listen at home with the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there. Perfect fit.
Do you know an educator that goes above and beyond for their students? Highmark and the Pittsburgh Penguins want to celebrate the educators who make a difference every day. Nominate an outstanding educator for the Highmark Most Valuable Educator Contest for their chance to win the ultimate away game trip, including round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and tickets to see the Penguins take on the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden on February 28th. Nominate your favorite educator today at pittsburghpenguins.com/contests. That's pittsburghpenguins.com/contests. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The biggest plays on the ice.
Sees it up ahead, to the net, backhand score! What a move!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
And welcome back into the Penguins Radio Network, where the Penguins trail the Minnesota Wild 1-0 after one period of play at Grand Casino Arena. Brian Metzer here for a quick cameo with you as Joe Brand and the old 2-9er make their way back to their microphones. A little tie-up in the press box area at the Grand Casino Arena. But we're just waiting to see when the puck drops and see if the Penguins can get this game equalized. They came very close to doing so when Evgeny Malkin looked to put a puck in past Gustafsson, the former Penguins goaltending prospect. But unfortunately, due to some dust up in front of the net where you saw Jacob Middleton tie up Justin Brazeau, push him into the goaltender, they got that goal overturned not only on the ice, but following a extended goal review that Dan Muse asked for after taking a timeout. You don't typically see a coach take a timeout in that situation to study the video, but he did that, and I think that speaks a little bit to who he is as a coach. It's very interesting to see how he goes about his business, and
thank you very much, Mets, as a shot from the near point goes into the glove of Tristan Jarry. 1-0 Minnesota, 19:25 to go in this second period. Penguins being outshot 13-6.
Well, the Penguins are going to have to regroup a little bit and get this momentum going their way, as the ice was tilted there for the latter half of the first period in favor of the home team.
Face off to the left of Tristan Jarry. The Penguins in their road white sweaters attacking from right to left now. Minnesota Wild in their home green sweaters attacking from left to right.
It's good to see Parker Wotherspoon right back on the ice again.
There's a couple of big saves by Jarry, sprawling out to his right as Kaprizov was trying to jam it home.
Wow, Kaprizov on the redirect, stopped by Jarry, and then he got his own rebound, and Jarry sprawled out, made the save again.
Kaprizov again off the near post, kicks over to the far wall. Brazeau smashes Middleton into the boards. It's played back over to the corner, up to Spurgeon at the point. Wrister wide of the net intentionally. Kaprizov will play it off the boards, up to Middleton at the point. Sends it down. Wotherspoon thrown into the boards by Marcus Johansson. Puck swept away along the far boards, but sent back deep. Carlson with a short pass intended for Wotherspoon, but the Wild recollect possession. In behind the net, it's Johansson. The near side for Rossi at the hash marks. Over to the far circle. Booyah, a wrister saved by Jarry, who's on top of it yet again. 15 saves for the Penguins goaltender, and he keeps it 1-0 Minnesota with a minute and a half gone in this second period.
And that's what you needed. You needed the save and you needed the cover. And Jarry does both. And he won't give the puck to the linesman. He's hanging on. Maybe catching his breath a little bit, because that was just chaotic. And that line of Kirill Kaprizov, Marco Rossi, and Marcus Johansson are giving the Penguins fits.
Ben Kindle playing in his 10th NHL game to take the draw against Ryan Hartman. Kindle wins it. Tang off the end boards to Novak on the near side. Pushes it up to the neutral zone. Koivunen got a touch of it to wave off icing. Gustafsson out of his net to play it. Brings it over to the near side. Crashing into the boards was Kindle, racing after the puck. Booyah comes away with it. Clearing attempt slowed down by Novak. Penguins take it back. Koivunen shovels it to Shea, snaps it over to Letang, far point. Rister down low, redirection kicked out of there by Gustafsson.
A good, hard, low wrist shot by Chris Letang. That was deflected by Tommy Novak. And so far, that might be Gustafsson's best save, as I don't think he saw it to the very last second. He was already down in his butterfly position. They flashed out the right save on the Novak redirect.
The faceoff comes all the way back into the Wild zone. 1-0. Minnesota leads. 2 minutes gone in this second period. Kindle to take another draw against Hartman. And official taking his time as Hartman not thrilled with that. Now they finally drop the puck, and this time the Wild control. Along the boards to the near side for Vinny Hinostroza. He gets stripped of the puck. Tommy Novak takes it away, brings it back the other way into the Wild zone. One arms it down to the near corner. David Juracek hustling him out for the puck, though, but can't clear it out. Letang sends it deep off the end wall. Novak's got it. Wraparound try, trying to tuck one home. Gustafsson keeps it out. Here's Shea, a one-timer. He scores! Ryan Shea to tie things up in the second period. His second goal of the season, and the Penguins with a strong push to begin this second, tie things up at 1.
That is relentless work by the Penguins' third line of Tommy Novak, Ville Koivunen, and Ben Kindle. They were just not going to be denied. And I think it was Tommy Novak who threw that puck kind of blindly towards the front of the net as Ville Koivunen got drilled. He was face first, actually in the goal, drilled from behind by Hartman. And what a decision that Ryan Shea made. He doesn't stop the puck. It's a puck that comes out to him. So it's kind of like a reverse, an awkward one-timer. But he just got it on the goal. With all that traffic in front, Gustafsson never saw it. We're tied at 1.
All 3 of Ryan Shea's career goals have come from that spot, as here's a loose puck right in front of Jari. Luckily, the Penguins sweep it away. Fourth line out there for the Pens right now is Owen Pickering. The defenseman will dump it into the Wild zone around the boards to the near side. Dewar tries to send it deep, but it's taken away by Urov. Wild break it out through the neutral zone. Brock Faber dumps it in. Around the boards is Jari, swings it to the near side. Connor Dewar through the legs, feeds it over to the far side where Pickering will race it down. Center ice, he chips it back into the Wild zone. Gustafsson slowing it down behind the net. Blake Lizotte comes swerving in. Gets it to the high slot for Hollander. In the circle now, Hollander. The corner, curls around up to Wotherspoon at the point. Snaps it over to Carlson, far point. Rister down low to Sidney Crosby. Back up top, Carlson's got it. His Rister blocked. And the Wild take it away. Crosby breaks up a pass from Minnesota in the neutral zone. Penguins are back in the Wild end. Down to the near corner, it's Brian Rush. Shakes off a defender of Spurgeon. Gets it over to Wotherspoon to Carlson. Rister, redirection, kept out. Loose puck still. And Hollander will get it up only to the slot where it's taken by Trenton of Minnesota. Now Boldy into the Penguin zone. His pass broken up. Great poke check from Wotherspoon.
Player down for the Wild.
And now they'll blow the whistle.
That's Boldy. Boys, and he is in a lot of pain. That's not 12, that's 22. That's Urov. Danila Urov down. And man, you just don't see a player kind of writhe in that much pain as Urov is right now. No, that was a great shift by the Crosby line, and I thought that Philip Hollander got hauled down by Jonas Brodin. To me, it looked like an obvious call, and it was right around that area that Urov went down. You see what happened, Joe?
I think it got him in the spot.
Oh, in that spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it wasn't that hard of a shot.
Yeah.
But I think it snuck up on him on a deflection. And Urov is heading in to the dressing room.
And it's eerily quiet in here. God. They're just now starting to play a little bit of kind of easy listening music. Like, it's just a weird tone right now. Boy, the Penguins have come out in this second period with a lot of hop in their giddy up after weathering the first couple shifts of the period where it looks like it was all Wild again, and Tristan Jarry made a couple of big saves. It looks like the Penguins have some footing here.
Well, like you said, exactly, weathering. First period wasn't exactly a bad one played by the Penguins, but the Wild outplayed them, had a couple of power plays to generate even more momentum. The Penguins with a couple of big kills, and now we're tied up at 1 with 4 minutes gone in this second period. Fight for the puck in the Penguin zone. Mantha coughs it up. It's Tarasenko, near circle, backhand shot, got sent wide. He chases after his own rebound, but Letang will send it around the boards. Get it up to Middleton in the neutral zone. Minnesota takes it back. Faber slings it down into the Penguins' end. Around the boards, it jumps off the shelf. Letang's pass intended for Malkin missed. It goes out to the neutral zone as Minnesota regroups. Boldy will reset at center ice, get it to Middleton. He's into the Penguin zone now, far corner. Around the boards, took a weird bounce off the shelf, but luckily the Penguins pull it out. Kindle to Letang, back to Kindle, jumped off his stick though. That pass may have been intended for Mantha. As Mantha will send it deep into the Wild zone. Minnesota shovels it out. Mantha again disrupts it. Koivunen with a quick kniving pass over to Kindle. Couldn't cleanly connect as the Wild take it back the other way. Kaprizov on the near side. Drops it down to the corner. Rossi races after it. Sandwiched around by Owen Pickering. Then down to the ice, and once again, Kindle gets it out to Koivunen with a nifty pass ahead to Tommy Novak in the Penguin zone, rather in the Wild zone. Backhand shot goes wide on the end boards.
Excuse me, Joe. Novak tried to pull that between his own legs, pick it up on the other side, and then throw a backhand into Gustafsson, and it just rolled off the end of his stick.
Under 15 to play in the second period. Penguins have tied things up thanks to Ryan Shea's second goal of the year. Now Blake Lizotte chugging into the Wild zone. Chips it down to the far corner. Races after it as Juracek sends it around the boards. Looking for a hustling Hartman, but he had to slow down in between the penalty boxes to collect the pass. Got it ahead to Hinostroza. He couldn't get it into the Penguin zone, but Hartman does. Jari plays it.
Yeah, Evgeny Malkin's broken stick is in behind the goal. And it's kind of like driftwood, and the referee doesn't want to pick it up and take his eyes off the play.
Up ahead to Dewar in the Wild zone, far corner, stops on a dime. Carlson a drive, saved by Gustafsson, rebound. Lizotte sends it wide. Over to the near wall, Dewar keeps it alive. Playing it to the boards, looking to get it to Wotherspoon. Dewar hangs on to it, fight for the puck in the corner. Lizotte sends it deep. Hartman, though, races after it. He gets stripped of the puck for a moment by Lizotte. And now it's taken away by the Wild, up ahead all the way down to the Penguins' end. That'll be icing by the Wild. 13:42 to go in the second. We're tied up at 1 here in Minnesota.
Well, when America needs a power play, EQT delivers. Fueling freedom, strengthening allies, and unleashing U.S. LNG. That's liquid natural gas from right here in Pittsburgh. EQT, unleashing America's energy future. EQT.
He's the old 2-9er Phil Bourque. I'm Joe Brand. We're tied at 1 in Minnesota. Game 2 of this 4 games road trip. First matchup between these two teams. They'll wrap up the season series in Pittsburgh in November. Penguins win the draw, but their outlet pass goes all the way down to their own end. Wotherspoon has to chase it down. Sends it up ahead to Erik Karlsson. He cuts over the Wild logo, backhands it to Sid. Now over the Wild line. Hollander in the slot. Fires, didn't get through traffic. And Z Bouillon will crank it out all the way down to the Penguins' end. That'll be icing as well. 13:21 to go in this second, still tied at 1.
Well, Saturday night's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $400 million. Yeah, $400 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer, or you can play online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds, they benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. You got to be 18 or older, and please play responsibly.
Minnesota still out shooting the Pens 16-9. It's been a much stronger push from the Penguins here in the second period. Like shots even in this period, 3-3. Sidney Crosby wins the draw in the Wild zone. Karlsson takes it down to the corner. Quickly over to the far side. Letang couldn't get a clean one-timer off. So the Wild take it through transition, but Erik Karlsson gets in the way of the pass. He snapped over to Sid, but he dragged it over the blue line. Penguins are offside. 13:06 to play in the second. Penguins and Wild tied up at 1 here in Minnesota. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
It takes all of us to take action and bring awareness to create a better community and environment. Penguins Pledge brings together key Penguins business partners with a common goal to create a more environmentally conscious community. Together with our Pledge Impact partners, Davey Tree, Excelitas, Duquesne Light Company, and WM, Penguins Pledge is a commitment to a better and more sustainable Pittsburgh. Learn more at pittsburghpenguins.com/Penguins Pledge. Do you know an educator that goes above and beyond for their students? Highmark and the Pittsburgh Penguins want to celebrate the educators who make a difference every day. Nominate an outstanding educator for the Highmark Most Valuable Educator Contest for their chance to win the ultimate away game trip, including round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and tickets to see the Penguins take on the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden on February 28th. Nominate your favorite educator today at pittsburghpenguins.com/contests. That's pittsburghpenguins.com/contests.
Hey, Pens fans, early Black Friday savings start now. 30% off tickets for Thursday, November 6th against the Washington Capitals and Saturday, November 9th against the LA Kings. Come pack the house for Pittsburgh night. Presented by U.S. Steel on Thursday and a Sunday matinee puck drop. No code is needed. Get your 30% off tickets today at PittsburghPenguins.com.
One thing we can guarantee you, you will be entertained.
Oh, yeah.
And this hockey team's got a lot of fight. You're seeing a lot of skill, a lot of balance. You know, things that were kind of glaring, lacking in the last couple of years that they've been taking care of, from the goaltending to the special teams to the defensive posture. It's a fun team to watch.
When still riding a point streak of 7 straight games, 5-0-2. Sent all the way down by the Penguins. This will be icing. 12:49 to go in this second. We're tied up at 1.
Another big goal. When you get a goal from a guy like Ryan Shea, it should energize this hockey team. He's not counted on for offense, but boy, Ryan Shea now with 2 goals and 6 points in 12 games. I'll take it.
He's a guy that did everything asked last season, and a lot of it was playing on his offside. Here's Mantha with a shot saved by Philip Gustafsson. Got deflected on a bit of a 2-on-2 into the Wild zone, but Shea was playing on his offside a lot last season, and we talked to them at the end of the year how much that helped his confidence playing back on his normal side on the left side. And Dan Muse gave him a lot of responsibility in the preseason. That rolled into a whole bunch of responsibility here this year, and seems to be a perfect match with Chris Letang.
Yeah, when you think about Shea with Letang, Wotherspoon with Carlson, they just fit, right?
Yeah.
It's just what Carlson needed, it's what Letang needed, and there's a balance there.
Third defensive pair tonight is Matt Dumba, who's playing in his 4th straight game after being a healthy scratch for the majority of the earlier part of the season. He's paired with Owen Pickering for the 2nd straight game. Mantha loses the draw. Minnesota pulls it out of their zone. Chris Letang in the neutral zone can't get a hold of it. Wild back into the Penguins' end. It's Hartman near circle. Swings it around the boards to the far half wall. Rodin sends it deep. Hartman and Letang got tied up in the corner. And now they're jawing at each other as the Penguins break it out through the neutral zone. Here's Ryan Shea into the Wild end. Swings it off the near boards to the far corner for Brazeau. Down to Mantha. Tried to pump it over to Letang. Couldn't get enough on it. Marcus Foligno will collect for the Wild on the near side. They fight for the puck along the boards. Taken by Mantha. Shea sends it deep again. Foligno's got one of the Pens down on the ice right now, and Brazeau, I believe. Now Brazeau starts to get back to his feet. As a loose puck is taken by Hartman. Dragged out to the neutral zone. Over the Penguins line to the far side. Swings it over to Hinostroza. Has to play it off the wall. Passes behind him. Centering pass. Jari with a stick save. Didn't see the rebound. It went all the way over to the far corner.
You had Foligno all by himself, and Hartman spotted him. And that's Tristan Jari acting like a defenseman with an active stick to disrupt that backdoor pass to Foligno.
Outlet pass by Letang misses. Penguins all the way down for icing. 11:25 to go in this second period. We're tied up at 1.
Want some birthdays?
Let's do it.
Jesper Boquist, 27. Cale Makar, 27. Tage Thompson, 28. Sam Montembeau, 29. Artemi Panarin, 34. Drew Stafford, 40. Andy Green, 43. Patty Elenuck, 58. And our own Jacob Lasner, our executive producer, turns 23 today. Happy birthday, boys.
Happy birthday, boys. The Jordan year for Jacob Lasner. Enjoy it. Boy, to be 23 again.
Oh, you know what you know now.
Fight for the puck along the near boards in the Wild zone. Rather in the Penguin zone with the Wild having possession. Snapped up to Rossi at the point. Half-hearted wrister. His stick broke on him. Now a stretch pass ahead looking for Novak. Playing it off the wall. Bit of a one-on-one. Fires in and out of the glove of Gustafsson.
Novak rushed that shot a little bit. He felt pressure from Middleton. The whole glove side of the net was wide open as Gustafsson overcommitted on Novak.
Wild are back in the Penguin zone now. Johansson in behind Tristan Jarry's net. Over to the far corner. Curls around Kindle. Up to the far circle for Kaprizov. Plays it off the end wall back to Johansson. Trip to the puck, but Kaprizov's got it back. Leaves it for Juracek. Goal line. Centering pass broken by a one-handed, rather down to a knee was Owen Pickering to block the pass.
That's a really smart play by Pickering. The Penguins needed a strong defensive play right there.
Koivunen ripped the wrister as Gustafsson may have gotten a piece of it. Banged off the end wall. Penguins try to keep it alive in the Wild zone. Down deep, jumped off the stick of Kindle. Z. Booyam races it up. 12th overall pick back in 2024. Sends it back down to the Penguins' end. Raced after by Dumba. Can't get around Joel Eriksson-Ek, but Parker Wotherspoon picks up the loose puck. Brings it up to center ice. Ahead to Brian Rust. He'll chip it down to the near corner of the Wild zone. Hollander tries to play it off the wall. But it's Faber flipping it along the near boards. Double to Wotherspoon, though. Rink wide. Pass over to Brian Rust at the near corner. He sends it deep. Hollander in behind the net. Crosby will pull it up. Now back over to Hollander. Far side. Centering pass taken away by Tarasenko. Flipped out to the neutral zone. Wotherspoon will send it back over to Rust. Under 10 minutes to play in the second period. We're tied at 1 in Minnesota. Ryan Shea with the equalizer early in this second period. Now Crosby steals the puck. He's in the Wild zone. Gets it to Connor Dewar. Wrister just wide of the net. Over to the far side. Tarasenko slows it down to the half wall. Carlson sends it deep. Crosby connected with Jonas Brodin, that is. Over to the far corner, and the Wild will reset things. Brock Faber taking his time with the puck right behind Gustafsson's net.
Wild getting some changes, some fresh bodies on here.
9 minutes to play in the second. We're tied up at 1. Wild dump it back into the Penguin zone. In behind the net of Jarry. Wotherspoon tries to kick the puck free. He's sandwiched around Pitlick. And Yakov Trenin. Back out on the ice is Danila Yurov, so that's good to see. In the near corner, dug after by Trenin. Played along the end wall. Ryan Shea gets in his grill, so he can't get to the puck. Now it's shoveled out to the neutral zone. Dewar trying to thread the needle. Can't get it cleanly into the Wild zone. Minnesota takes it back the other way. Here's Pitlick near half wall of the Penguin zone. Popped up the puck to Dewar. On the near side, he sends it up ahead to Achari. He gets slowed down by Z. Booyam. Now it's Dewar over the Wild line. Brings it over to the far side. Shovels it up to Letang at the point, towards the net. Couldn't get the redirection from Blake Luzapa. The puck goes to the near corner. Up the boards for Shea at the point. Fires one towards the net, pawed down by Juracek. Loose puck to the high slot. It's taken by Yurov. He gets thrown off the puck and into the Penguin zone. The puck goes. Ryan Shea's outlet pass slowed down by Trenin. He keeps it alive in the Penguin zone near point. Now to the circle, down to the corner for Hinostroza, in behind Jarry's net. Over to the far side, up to the point, snapped over to the near side. Spurgeon, wrister doesn't get past Anthony Mantha. Chipped out along the near side. Mantha, rather Malkin tries to drag it out. Wild still with it. Hartman in the slot. Far circle back skating now. Cross ice pass to Spurgeon. Jumped off his stick. Cranks a centering pass. That got broken up. Tumbles over to the far corner. Ryan Shea shovels it up the boards. Thrown over to the point. And a missed pass from Middleton goes out to the neutral zone. Wild regroup and re-enter, but Malkin slows down the puck, stretches it up to Brazeau, the former Wild, into the Minnesota zone. He gets thrown off the puck, though, by Jake Middleton. Now head the other way. Hinostroza chips it down to the Penguins' end. We get a whistle blown.
We got too many men here. Too many men on the Wild, I think. This might be the first power play for the Penguins in this hockey game.
Pittsburgh penalty, bench minor, too many men on the ice.
Like I said, The Wild about to go on the power play again. Penguins have not had a power play in this game. That'll be 3 power plays for the Wild, none for the Penguins.
Penguins will look for their third kill when we come back. We're tied at 1 with 7:15 to go in the second period. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
These are the games where you have to produce your best. The stakes are higher this fall on Sirius XM FC.
This is the place where dreams come true.
The drama of the MLS playoffs.
The impossible may still be possible.
The excitement of the English Premier League.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And the prestige of the UEFA Champions League.
The class of champions.
Experience it all in one place. Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mountain. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Penguins are back on the penalty kill. After too many men, Minnesota Wild go to their third power play of the night. They're 0 for 2 in the first period. Penguins have been able to kill it off twice against the top power play in the NHL. With 7:13 to go in the second, we're tied at 1 in the second period. Wild with it in the Penguin zone. Down to the corner for Boldy. Up top to Spurgeon. Now over to Tarasenko. Back to Spurgeon. High slot. Downstairs Kaprizov. Couldn't handle the pass. May have had a wide open net if he was able to. He gets thrown into the boards by Parker Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon can't clear it out just yet because of Joel Eriksson Ek. And Nola Chari will muscle it out to center ice. Wild back in the Penguin zone, though. Tarasenko, far corner, flips it over to the near side. Carlson plays it off the boards, chips it out all the way down to the Wild end.
That's a strong play by Erik Karlsson. He was under serious pressure from Eriksson Ek and got really strong on his stick to get it down the ice.
Wild back in the Penguin zone again. 1:15 to go on the Penguins PK. Boldy at the half wall on the near side, up to the point. Spurgeon sends it deep to the corner. Eriksson Ek wrapped up by Carlson. Blake Lizotte will clear it on down. Far corner, the Wild zone.
Once again, Erik Karlsson out here killing penalties and pressuring Eriksson Ek to turn the puck over. He got support from Lizotte. Down the ice she goes again.
50 seconds to go on the Penguins PK. We're tied at 1 with 6 minutes left in the second period. Kaprizov chips it up to Hartman, walks the blue line to the far point. Boldy. Snapped over to Kaprizov, near half wall to Boldy again, back to Kaprizov at the hash marks, down to the corner, missed a pass, over to the far corner it goes. Boldy crunched into the boards by Dewar, hangs onto the puck though, centering pass, doesn't get through Ryan Shea, and he will clear it out to the neutral zone. 26 seconds to go on the Penguins PK.
Can't cover everything on the penalty kill, so you have to cheat a little bit and have really active sticks.
Wild in the Penguin zone again. Here's Faber at the point, down to the corner. Rossi thrown into the boards. It goes down to the corner again as they fight for the puck. Up along the near wall, cleared out by Ryan Shea. It hit the official. Stays alive in the neutral zone. Here's a breakaway. Connor Dewar. Pad save. Gustafsson on the right side.
Probably could have called a slash on Faber. He got a good chop into Dewar.
Anthony's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5, but a wrister from Rossi in the slot, saved by Jari.
Oh, that was up by his left earlobe, and he fought it off.
Here comes Russ now in the Wild zone for the Penguins to the near corner. He takes it over to the far side. Drops it back to the end boards. Hollander races after it. He's defended by Zeev Buyam. Played for, out to the circle it goes on the stick of Russ. Cross ice, rather a tough, tight angle save from Gustafsson on the far side on a shot that Brian Russ got off crazily. 4:40 to go in the second period. We're still tied at 1. Here's Mantha into the Wild zone. Chips it down to the end wall. Tough angle shot. Dumba stuck wide of the net. Taken away by Yakov Trenin. He's got some speed with the puck in the Penguins' end now. Burst towards the crease. Forehand. Wide of the net. Jari out of his net. Stops it from the side.
Oh, Jari just perfectly tracking Trenin as he went bulldozing his way across the top of the crease.
4:15 to go in the second, and the intensity has picked up here in Minnesota. Penguins kill off their third penalty of the night, stopping the top power play in the NHL. And it's icing by the Wild with 4:06 to go in the second period, a 1-1 tie.
Oh, what a play by Tristan Jarry to not only make the initial save on Trenin, but then as the puck went in behind the goal, he had to gather himself, right, Joe? And get up tight to the post as the Wild tried to bank it off of Jarry. It was Trenin who got to that loose puck in behind the goal and thought that Jarry would be scrambling to get back, but he didn't lose his net too far. He didn't go so far out of his net where it was a scramble. He stayed under control, even though it was a bit of a crazy play in front of him.
You're right, because it was a very unnatural shot from Trenin. And it's got to be tough for Jari to understand what's going on in that moment, but he read it the entire way. Keep this game tied up at 1. He's come up with 19 saves tonight as the Penguins lose the puck in the Wild zone. It's chipped out by Marco Rossi, and then scooped up by Carlson in the Penguins' end. Sends a rink wide to Malkin. He had to work around the official to get the puck, tried to send it deep. Penguins couldn't get it cleanly. Now Carlson kicks the puck to himself, takes it over the Wild line, in the slot, drop back to Crosby, bottom of the circle, tough angle shot, and blockered out of there by Gustafsson. Crosby settles the puck down, far corner, centering pass, couldn't connect. And the Wild will backhand chip it out to the neutral zone. It bounces into the Penguins' end. Letang plays it off the wall. Up ahead to Crosby now. Snapped over to Koivunen. He's got a far circle on the Wild end. Rolls around at the corner, up towards the point. Kaprizov broke off the pass. Now he races after the loose puck, but Koivunen gets in the way first. Kaprizov still able to get the puck. Plays it along the wall. Centering pass goes right to the stick of Wotherspoon. Now Ben Kindle shovels it deep into the Wild end. Tommy Novak blew a tire while trying to slow the puck down in the corner. Still comes up with the puck. In the near corner is Kindle. Up to the point for Wotherspoon. Working around the defensive Boldy. He'll send it deep on the end boards. Koivunen kicks it back up to the near side. There's a one-timer. Wotherspoon wide of the net. Pinned off of Kindle's skates. Gets it to Koivunen far circle. Now up to Shea at the point. Shea with a wrister wide of the net. Went off the skate of Kindle over to the near corner. Wotherspoon keeps it alive, but can't get a handle on it. Now a stretch pass looking for Kaprizov is out of his reach, and the Wild send it down for icing with 2:20 to go in the second period. We're still tied at 1.
Oh, great pressure by the Penguins. They're trying to get the lead to go into the room here. And it's impressive the way the Penguins have just dusted themselves off. They probably feel slighted. They should have been on the power play at least a couple times, if not 3 times in this game. They have not had the man advantage yet.
And in the first period, it looked like if Evgeny Malkin had tied up the game. They called goaltender interference in real time as the Wild iced the puck. The Penguins challenged it. Call stood. Penguins had to kill off a penalty.
Hey, Penguin fans. I talk about flex plans because you can choose from flex plans starting at 3 games. Pick your games, pricing, seats, savings up to 20%. Get your tickets today at PittsburghPenguins.com/flex.
Don't forget, those early Black Friday savings are starting now. 30% off tickets for Thursday, November 6th against the Capitals. Saturday, November 9th against the LA Kings.
Got 30% off with Ovi coming in the house. And Ovi 1 goal away from 900.
Wild dump it down into the Penguins' end. We've got 2 minutes to play in the second period. Pushed into the boards and over to the far side. Nola Chari sends it rink wide to Owen Pickering. Connor Dewars sends it deep into the Wild zone. Raced after by Zeev Buyam. Pulled away by Achari. Far side. He'll crank it around the other way to the near boards. Ryan Shea sends it deep. Lausanne in behind the net of Gustafsson. Letang one-timer. Didn't get through traffic. Loose puck still. The Wild take it away. As Lausanne and Zeev Buyam jousting at each other at the far corner, but the Wild break it out into the Penguin zone now. Here's Hartman above the near circle. Down to the corner, plays it off the end boards to the far wall. Foligno lets it ride, and it goes all the way out to the neutral zone.
That's a great play by Sid. Foligno thought he was going to get to that loose puck, and Sid so good with one hand on the stick, just swept it right off the stick of Foligno. Foligno couldn't believe it.
69 seconds to play in the second period. Penguins and Wild tied up at 1. Sid into the Wild zone. Far circle. Doubles a centering pass. Couldn't connect. Wotherspoon collects at the near half wall. Below the goal line. Crosby fighting for it in the corner against Brodin. Brodin hits the deck. Russ chucks it out trying to get it to Crosby. Now Crosby shovels it up to the point for Wotherspoon. Settles down the puck at the high slot. Chips it down to the far corner. Russ plays it off the boards. Along the far wall, got it to Wotherspoon. The high slot, wrister, and a save by Gustafsson to keep this game tied up at 1 with 38 seconds to go in the second. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins' pathway to net zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
As the largest and most experienced program in the region, UPMC Sports Medicine knows that injuries can happen to anyone, whether you're a weekend athlete, a rising star, or even a seasoned pro. That's why we offer a complete range of services and experts to help treat and prevent sports-related injuries to get you back in the game. To make an appointment, visit upmcsportsmedicine.com. The UPMC is the official healthcare provider of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Office is Pittsburgh.
Penguins and Wild tied up at 1. We've got just 38 seconds left in this second period, but what a push from the Penguins in this second period, Borky. They've got the only goal thanks to Ryan Shea.
It's impressive, man. It's what we've seen all year from this Penguins. They're not rattled. They know what they have to do. They have a game plan. They have a blueprint on what brings them success. And once again, Dan Muse is rolling those 4 lines, and everybody has chipped in to get this ice tilted in the Penguins' favor for the last half of the second period.
Penguins win the draw in the Wild zone. 35 seconds left in the second period. We're tied up at 1. Cross-ice pass goes off the boards as Malkin and Brodin fight after it. Malkin comes away with the puck far side, up to Letang. In the high slot, now to Carlson near half wall. Curls around the point, to the high slot again. Brister wide of the net, couldn't connect with Brazeau. Letang plays the long rebound off the end wall, takes it down to the corner, now over to the far side, stripped to the puck. It's swept up to the point. Carlson loaded up, never unloaded. Now he wrists one, pad save from Gustafsson. 4 seconds to go as Carlson raced down his own rebound. Brazeau's shot doesn't get through traffic, and that'll do it for the second period. But the Penguins put the pedal to the metal and never took their foot off the gas in this second period. Ryan Shea with the lone goal to tie things up at 1. Another penalty kill for the Penguins against the top power play in the NHL, the Minnesota Wild, and we're tied at 1 through 40.
Another missed call by the referees in this game, as Justin Brazeau was right in front of Philip Gustafsson, and Gustafsson's frustrated. He's frustrated right now because the Penguins are getting bodies in front of him. He just took a stick and took the feet right out from Brazeau, knocking Brazeau down, and the Penguins were complaining at the end of the first period. They got to just stick to what they're doing, but also you have to be smart. You have to look at where it's 3-0 power plays.
Yeah.
So just keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
because eventually you're going to get the calls and get on the power play, and that might be the difference in this hockey game. It's been a great game, great goaltending on both ends.
Ryan Metzer is standing by. He'll have the second intermission report for us, along with the chat with the old 2 Niners. The Penguins and the Wild are tied up at 1 through 40 here in Minnesota. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Pens fans, can you believe it? 20 legendary seasons of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. And we're celebrating with 20 chances for you to win.
Malkin to Crosby, a duo that just won't quit. A power play goal.
It's the Big Three sweepstakes with bobblehead game tickets, autographed collectibles, and Penguins memorabilia up for grabs. The best part, every entry helps support the Penguins Foundation. Enter now at penguinsweepstakes.com. That's penguinsweepstakes.com. And let's go Pens.
Do you know an educator that goes above and beyond for their students? Highmark and the Pittsburgh Penguins want to celebrate the educators who make a difference every day. Nominate an outstanding educator for the Highmark Most Valuable Educator Contest for their chance to win the ultimate away game trip, including round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and tickets to see the Penguins take on the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden on February 28th. Nominate your favorite educator today at pittsburghpenguins.com/contests. That's pittsburghpenguins.com/contests. This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
Penguins and Wild knotted at 1 after 2 at Grand Casino Arena. Brian Metzer here with you, and the period started off in slightly dubious fashion when Kirill Kaprizov hit the post just 51 seconds in, but the Penguins would equalize things at 1 at 2:18 when we got to give some credit to Tommy Novak on this play. He started it all off in the neutral zone. He stole a puck from former Penguin Vinny Hinostroza, brought it into the zone, worked hard down below the goal line, created a wraparound opportunity as Ryan Hartman brought Ville Koivunen down and into his goaltender, where the puck then popped into space where the Shea Bird, Ryan Shea, lashes a shot past Gustafsson to give the Penguins a tie hockey game. It was Shea's second of the season. Novak gets his fourth assist, and Letang an assist on that as well. Penguins would have to kill off a penalty later in the period at 12:45. Too many men on the ice this time, and you heard us talking with our guest in the first intermission report about the Wild carrying the top power play into this game. 31.8% of the time they've scored this year. Well, the Penguins have now killed off 3 in this game. So any fear we had of that PK kind of slipping a little bit, at least in one game, is kind of knocked out the back door here because they've been really solid in getting the kills. Teams did get their chances, though, both ways. Connor Dewar had a breakaway. Gustafsson made a big save on that. He blew past Brock Faber to get himself into space to get in alone, but the pad was used to kick the puck away. Marco Rossi had a really dangerous scoring opportunity, letting a shot fly from the high slot in which Jari caught it up by his ear and knocked it away. Made another save on Trennan shortly thereafter. And then the Penguins tried to get some offense going with Crosby, Malkin, Brazeau, Carlson, and Letang on the ice all at the same time, unable to cash in. Shots on goal, 11-7 in the period in favor of the Penguins, and they are being outshot, though, on the game 20-17. When we come back, hockey talk with the old 2-9er Phil Bourque, and you'll hear it next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
As the official professional products partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kimberly-Clark Professionals deliver trusted brands like Scott, Kleenex, and Wipe-All to deliver game-ready hygiene solutions that keep facilities clean, efficient, and prepared for action. Learn more at kcprofessional.com.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins' pathway to net zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
We celebrate the brave, the powerful, pink ribbon wearers and supporters who turn the fear and uncertainty of a breast cancer diagnosis into strength and hope. At UPMC, we're here to support you with screenings, compassionate experts, and innovative therapies, because we know that sometimes you just need someone by your side through every step of the journey. Learn more at upmc.com/breast cancer awareness.
The Pittsburgh Penguins and Mitsubishi Electric have teamed up to transform the game day experience with a new state-of-the-art Diamond Vision video display system. See this display in action and find out why they are known as the makers of amazing by visiting MitsubishiElectric.com today.
This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
Penguins and Wild tied at 1 after 2 in Minnesota. Brian Metzer back here with you and joined now by my good buddy, the old 2-9er, Phil Bourque. And, of course, it's time for some hockey talk. Borky, I wanted to get your take first on the PK. I know it's played a big role here tonight. We were worried about it a little bit in a couple recent games, but I would say very solid going up against the top-rated Minnesota Wild PP tonight.
I concur. Yeah, they've been obviously, you need a couple big saves, and you got that from Tristan Jarry, but tonight I've been really impressed with Erik Karlsson out there. He's the first over the boards.
Yep.
For Mike Stothers, who runs the defense and part of the penalty-killing team that has these guys on their toes, and they're aggressive, and they're smart aggressive, and they're reading off each other, and they have active sticks. And when they get a chance to win puck battles, more of them are won by the Penguins. And also when they win those puck battles, the second half of that equation is getting really strong on your stick and making sure you clear the zone, hopefully get it down 200. They've done a lot of that, and I could feel that the Wild are getting frustrated. Is they've had 3 power plays in this game, and they've got nothing to show for it, and the Penguins have not had a power play yet, but Penguins' penalty kill unit is really, really good this year, mostly because the same guys have been with the same guys, and Lazard and Achari and guys like that, they and Rust, and they can all feed off each other and read off each other, and it's been really fun to watch.
You know what, too, Borky? It seems like they've generated some chances. We saw it with Connor Dewar tonight. I know it was kind of right at the tail end of that PP, but for them to get on the attack in that way, we haven't seen that a whole lot in recent years. They've been known for giving up shorties, not scoring them in the last couple seasons.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember my interview in Los Angeles with Ricard Raquel, and I talked about going for it shorthanded. And when you've got some skilled guys out there, we remember Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand, how good they were, and Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad. Those are your elite guys for those teams, and they're out there killing penalties. And when they get the puck, they don't just rip it down the ice. They take that extra second, get their head up, and if there's a chance that the power play guys from the other team are a little bit tired, go for it. Go for that shorthanded goal, because it's tough for the power play guys to defend when they're out there. And a lot of times it's a one defenseman, 4 forward formation, and a lot of times you'll have a forward back there playing D.
Yeah, you know what? When you brought up the guys in New York, were you kind of shocked? I know it's off the beaten path of our game here, to see Mike Sullivan continue to employ those forwards on his PK. I know they've had their ups and downs, but that's not something he ever really did here in Pittsburgh, and he kind of stuck with it there because it typically worked there.
No, and so I don't know. I don't understand why people say, well, you can't put Sidney Crosby out there killing penalties. He's going to break his foot blocking a shot. Well, he's a little bit smarter than that, than launch his foot in front of a shot. I'm all for it. I mean, look, Mario was one of the best penalty killers ever, right?
Well, he has the record in shorthanded goals, right?
Ronnie Francis, great penalty killer. I mean, I think you should, and then also, the best time to throw them out there is the last 30 seconds, right, Mitz?
Yep.
That's when you can get the power play maybe a little bit fatigued out there in an extended shift, and that's when you can really go for it for the shorthanded goal.
Yeah, you love to see it that way. Borky, we have just under a minute here, but you mentioned Karlsson killing penalties. Dan Muse talked the other day about every defenseman on your team should be able to kill. What's your take on that? Do you agree? I tend to. That's what defensemen should be able to do.
They should be able to. If you're a National Hockey League defenseman, you definitely have killed penalties somewhere along the line.
For sure.
Moving up the ladder, right?
Yep.
And you know what? I think because he's done it right from the get-go with Erik Karlsson, it's kind of an unspoken message to Carl, right? I believe in you. I think you can be better defensively than you have been as a Pittsburgh Penguin. That's why I'm going to have you over the boards first. I'm not going to say, hey, Carl, make sure you're good. Make sure. No, I'm just going to throw you over the boards. And I believe in you. I believe in your instincts. I believe in that you're proudful enough to kill the penalty. And it's been working so far. And I think it's trickled down to the rest of Erik Karlsson's game because of that confidence and that trust that Dan Muse has shown in him.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Borky. Good PK talk here tonight, my friend. Let's see if the Pens can get us a power play goal because I sense one coming their way. Thanks for this hockey talk.
20 miles for 20 smiles, buddy. Here we go.
Yes, sir. That is the old 2-9er, Phil Bourque. When I come back, a news bite or two from around the league on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Hey, Pittsburgh fans, this is Phil Bourque. In hockey, big goals cause big momentum shifts. As we all know, our Penguins have scored a lot of big goals. As a founding partner of the Penguins, PPG also likes big goals and is pursuing them off the ice to better the Pittsburgh community and the world. Together with the Penguins, PPG increases access to free STEM education through the annual Science at Play and Sticks and STEM events at PPG Paints Arena. We like big goals because when we score them, we all win.
When you're craving a savory snack that's energy boosting, nitrate free, high in protein, and full of flavor, you want the original Mr. Donair beef jerky. High quality protein, finest U.S. beef cuts, nitrate free, premium meat snacks, power play performance. Mr. Donair, proud to be the official jerky of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Steel City knows a thing or two about winners. When it comes to environmental services, WM has been winning for over 50 years. We have over 45,000 MVPs on our roster across North America, from truck drivers to sales professionals and everything in between. And right now, we're looking for Pittsburgh area professionals to join our winning team because doing what's right for our planet is vital work, best tackled together. We offer competitive pay, great benefits, and tons of other perks. Start your new career by visiting careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com.
This segment of the Penguins Live Intermission Report is brought to you by Smith's Hot Dogs, proud sponsor of the Penguins, and official hot dogs at PPG Paints Arena.
Penguins and Wild knotted at 1 after 2 periods of play. Brian Metzer back here with you. And, Kaprizov and Ryan Shea are your goal scorers in this hockey game. Looking around the league a little bit, Marty Necas, he has signed an 8-year contract with the Avalanche just a little bit earlier today. And what's interesting is you heard me talking in the first intermission report with Jess Myers about Kaprizov opening the door for all of these guys. So many people right now with these big contracts. Necas is the latest, 11.5 per season. Logan Coley, the Pittsburgh kid, $10 million a season. Thomas Harley, the defenseman, jumps up to 10.5 the other day. Then, of course, earlier in the year, or earlier in the offseason or early season, Jack Eichel signed his $13.5 million contract. It's just crazy to see the money rolling out the door. Kyle Connor as well, $12 million for him per season. And all these players are very worthy of the money. They score a ton for their team, so skilled, but they're not all in the same realm as being the superstar number one top guy in the league just yet, and they're getting the kind of money that we're seeing going. So it's going to be really intriguing to see if somebody is a scoring title winner, what he would get in his next contract. When we come back, third period action from Minnesota, Joe Brand and Phil Bourque. We'll have it for you next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The Morbid Podcast Network is on the SiriusXM app.
Spoiler alert, it's a spooky situation.
Find everything from dark, funny true crime stories
Next stop, the creepy trail.
to horror movie deep dives
From Texas Chainsaw 2006 to Freddy vs. Jason.
and spine-tingling supernatural tales.
This week's headline, Buried Alive.
Plus, get ad-free access to new episodes of the pod that started it all. Just search Morbid in the SiriusXM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mound. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Seguin lost it to Scheifele. Scheifele with 2-on-1. Scheifele scores!
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Penguins in Wild tied up at 1 through 40 minutes here at the Grand Casino Arena, formerly known as the XL Energy Center. Ryan Chase equalizer in the second period has this game tied up at 1. Penguins in their road white sweaters now attacking from left to right. The Minnesota Wild in their home green sweaters attacking from right to left. Tristan Jarry has come up with 18 big saves tonight. Philip Gustafsson with 16 saves against the Penguins. He's on the right side of your radio dial.
Get that feeling that Sid's going to have a big third period here. He's got great numbers all time against the Wild, and he's kind of quiet in the first period. A lot more noticeable in the second. I would expect the captain will explode here in the third.
40 career points and 27 career games against the Minnesota Wild when you include tonight as the Penguins ice it down. Opening faceoff to begin this third period is brought to you by #1 Cochrane Go One Better.
Last 6 games here in mini for Sid. Those 6 games, 7 goals and 12 points. Not too shabby.
That's almost a line score for his last 8 games overall. 13 points for Sid in the last 8 games, 7 goals, 6 assists. He's had goals in 7 of those 8 games. Penguins sweep it out of their zone. The former Wild Matthew Dumba dumps it down into Minnesota zone. Far corner, backhanded pass. Here's a shot. It goes off the side of the net. Owen Pickering with a drive. Pickering keeps it alive at the boards. It gets to Crosby in the slot. Drags through. Can't finish off a shot. Over to the near corner. Kick. He hangs on to the puck. Flips it up to the near point for Dumba. Little shuttle move. Gets it back down to Sid in the circle. Up top, no one was home as Pickering ran to the bench, and Wotherspoon comes off it, takes the puck, gets it back to Sid, straddling the blue line. They'll sweep it back out to the Penguins end as the Penguins get a change.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Owen Pickering vacated the offensive zone when Sidney Crosby had the puck. Sid was counting on Pickering staying in and made that pass to the left point just at the moment that Pickering decided, no, I need to get off the ice right now.
Penguins back in the Wild zone, but Minnesota breaks it off, takes it through the neutral zone. Kaprizov into the Penguins end. Centering pass Johansson. Can't get a clean forehand shot. Turnaround, he never finished off the shot. Tumbling puck to the far side. Wild take it back. Johansson a drive. Gets blocked by the Pens. Now a one-timer Middleton, that's seared through traffic, banged off the end wall, Minnesota still with it. Centering pass, jumps off of Malkin, Middleton sends it deep from Minnesota, in behind the net, Carlson collects behind Jari's net, gets it over to Brazeau in the far circle, he sweeps it up to Malkin. Steve Booyam, meanwhile, sliding down to the ice over in Minnesota's end.
Yeah, I think he collided with...
The official?
No, I think it was collided with Jared Spurgeon. When they were in the middle of a line change, they were looking in opposite directions.
Wild back into the Penguin zone now with some speed. It's Hinostroza to the corner for Foligno. Pitched out to the point. Brodin feeds it over. Juracek a drive. Blocker save Jari. Loose puck in the slot. It's swept away by Kindle.
Good blocker save. Jari reaching out aggressively with that blocker hand through traffic.
Kindle pitched it up into the air and almost scraped the bottom of the video board. Caught a piece of Ville Koivunen, and he couldn't cleanly get it into the Wild zone. Minnesota sends it back the other way into the Penguins' end. Shea sends it around the boards, far wall. Kindle sends it up to the neutral zone. Novak had some trouble with it. It swept over to Letang. Now he risks one, saved by Gustafsson. Rebound pops out. Koivunen can't get a handle of it. Hinostroza does for the Wild. They'll send it to Brodin on the near side as both teams get a change. Almost 3 minutes gone in this third period. We're tied up at 1 from Minnesota. Now sent up ahead. Tyler Pitlick, he couldn't handle the puck. Trennan's got it now, near half wall. Defended by Achari, brings it up to the point, now spins it down around the boards. Pitlick comes away with the puck on the near wing. Shot coming, tough angle shot. It's swept out by Jari. Now Connor Dewar will lift it up into the air. Tumbles down to the ice, sweeping in. Lizotte fires, and a save by Gustafsson. It's almost a broken play that Lizotte ripped home, but Gustafsson on top of it keeps it tied at 1. 16:50 to go in regulation.
That's why the Murphy dump's a good play. It's hard for a defenseman that's skating backwards, and you just lob that thing 30 feet up in the air while they've got a forward, a couple of Penguin forwards right in the face of the Minnesota defenseman. It makes it hard. And once that puck hits the ice, it's up for grabs, and Lizotte skated right into it and got a really good chance from about 30 feet out on Gustafsson.
There's no fair catch in the NHL.
No.
Defenseman would probably like something like that as Sid wins the draw in the Wild zone. Carlson, a wrister, doesn't get through traffic. Fight for it in the far corner. The Wild take a hold of it. Sid defends Boldy, though, and tries the puck free. Russ sends it deep. Crosby wrapped around Faber. Out to the far point. Carlson keeps it alive. Towards the net. Couldn't get the redirection from Sid. Now snapped over to Eriksson Ek. He takes it through the neutral zone for the Wild into the Penguins' end. Plays it off the near wall for Tarasenko. His centering pass broken off by Parker Wotherspoon. Puck goes over to the far side. Sid sends it rink wide to the near boards. Russ couldn't get to it as Brodin taps it back into the Penguins' end. Eriksson Ek having some trouble with, though, in the neutral zone. Gets it out to Boldy, who will feed it to Middleton as the Wild can re-rack here. Now Kaprizov into the Penguin zone. Takes it to the near circle, down to the corner. Tough angle shot, seared wide of the net. Spurgeon was unable to keep it alive for the Wild in the Penguin zone. It goes out to the Wild end. Taken by Middleton. He'll carry it up towards center ice. Played off the far wall for Kaprizov. He beats Johansson into the Penguin zone. Shot fired. Jari may have gotten a piece of it.
I don't like the tap there by Chris Letang on Johansson. Don't give that guy that shot from that spot again.
Hansen again in behind Jari's net. Played over to the far circle. Poked away by Justin Brazeau. Now Malkin drags it out to the neutral zone. Penguins looking for a 2-on-1 here. Malkin far circle. Drop back. Shot fired off the top part of Philip Gustafsson on Ryan Shea's wrister.
Hit him in the mask, and he's telling the referee, I think I popped the buckle here. And the Wild have iced the puck. And Gustafsson will fix that buckle.
The Penguins, even with Minnesota, 21 shots on goal, we're tied at 1.
Yeah, hey, tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot now has an estimated annuity of, you ready for this? $754 million. Yeah, $754 million. Don't forget to play at your local retailer, or you can play online. Pennsylvania lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians every day. You got to be 18 or older, and please play responsibly.
You do a lot of damage in the Mall of America. That kind of dough. Wild send it down into the Penguins' end. Soft line drive into the glove of Jari. He spits it out to Kindle, who's now cruising into the Wild zone. Beats it to Novak near circle. Wrister saved by Gustafsson. Rebound still loose and now swept away by Kaprizov. The near corner, it's shipped out to the neutral zone. Here's Hartman. He's got Hinostroza to his right. Hartman can't get a clean pass off. Pickering got in the way, broke it up.
Good back check there also by Dumba, who was caught up in the neutral zone there on that airmail pass. Good recovery by Dumba to get on his horse.
Now Kindle in the wild zone, feeds Carlson in the crease, fires, saved by Gustafsson. Rebound pops out to the near corner, and Novak sweeps it along the boards to Carlson.
Should have been a hook by Hartman on Carlson. It's no call.
Hartman doesn't have a stick right now. Now he does, picks it up off the ice. Novak, one-timer saved by Gustafsson. Rebound to the far half wall. Over to the corner. Kindle can't get a hold of it. William will carry it out to the neutral zone and sweep it over to Hartman. Jumped off his stick, though. Lizotte settles it down. Gets it to Carlson, who hustles it up the near side of the neutral zone. Over the wild line. Acharya drive, saved by Gustafsson. Rebound pops out to Brodin. Plays it to the corner. Dewar takes it away. Tough angle shot, saved by Gustafsson. And he somehow is able to stay on top of it and freeze it. 14:03 to go in regulation. We're tied up at 1 here in Minnesota.
Well, building the future takes grit, and no one does grit like Pittsburgh. EQT is ready to unleash the build and power America's next big win. EQT, unleashing America's energy future.
Well, no one does grit like this Penguins fourth line. Connor Dewar leading the game right now with 5 shots on goal against his former team. Tommy Novak tied for second with 4 shots on goal. Here's Hollander, turnaround shot from the slot, keeps it down to the corner, sweeps it over to Rush, jumped off his stick, tumbles over to the far wall. Wotherspoon keeps it alive, sends it deep to the corner on the far side. Sid forces it over to Hollander, but it was too close. Now the Wild try to clear it out on the near side. It goes puck on edge to the neutral zone. Wild dump it on down to the Penguins end. It'll be icing, though. 13:37 to go in regulation, tied at 1.
Partner, I don't know if I've seen a shift tonight when Sidney Crosby's been on the ice where he hasn't had to face Eriksson Ek and Jonas Brodin. So there for John Hines, his best centerman, best defensive centerman in Eriksson Ek, and then his best shutdown defenseman in Jonas Brodin. So Sid's got 2 layers he has to go through.
They just won the draw against Eriksson Ek. Penguins with him in the wild zone. They score! Brian Rust, backdoor, gets the feed from Ryan Shea, and the Penguins take a 2-1 lead with 13:31 to go in regulation.
Wow. Is that gorgeous or what? Win the faceoff, go D to D, and go to the net. And what a backdoor pass from Ryan Shea. Perfectly placed. And who does Brian Rust get in behind?
Jonas Brodin.
Jonas Brodin. Absolutely gorgeous. And as soon as Rusty tapped that one in the back door, he looked right at Ryan Shea and said, baby, that is gorgeous. Penguins have their first lead of the night. It's now 2-1, and Rusty's on fire.
Keep pouring the Rust shakes in Pittsburgh.
Milkshake Factory, 50% off tomorrow, folks. Get them. Brian Rust has a 5-game point streak now. 4 goals and 7 points. Rusty's streaking.
Half off milkshakes on Halloween night. How could you not? Ryan Shea, meanwhile, now has a new career high with 7 total points. The Wild have it in the Penguin zone. Big kick save by Jari just now.
That came off the stick of Ryan Shea. Reflex save.
Dewar off the crossbar, the elbow on the far side. Penguins are back in the Wild zone. Pitlick over to Trennan on the far side. He'll carry it out of the Wild zone up to the neutral zone. 2-1, the Penguins lead. We whistle blown.
Now a penalty finally on the Wild. Finally, the Penguins are going to get a power play here. And man, have they been digging in here to not only draw this penalty,
Minnesota penalty, number 19, 2 minutes, elbowing.
but to try to get a 2-goal lead. Penguins leading the Wild here in Minnesota, 2-1. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, brought to you by our good friends at S&T Bank.
Now
Now through October 31st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues to be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero. You'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 in the SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB Postseason Heroes 2025. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 19th. Must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan, and
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and thus I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Penguins with a 2-1 lead here in the third period, and now they get their first power play of the night. They've killed off 3 penalties against the Minnesota Wild, who came into tonight's game with the top power play in the NHL. The Penguins, with the 6th best power play of their own, will take the draw to the left. Now Philip Gustafsson, Sid just got kicked out of there.
This was going to take the face-off.
Ben Kindle playing in his 10th NHL game. He wins the draw. Doubles it over to Carlson, who backhands it down to Crosby near half wall. Brian Rust and Malkin out there as well. Up to Sid, now to Carlson. One-timer wide of the net. Second attempt by Malkin won't go. Third attempt, they score! Ben Kindle, his 3rd NHL goal on the top power play unit, and the Penguins cash in on the man advantage. 13 seconds in, it's 3-1 Pens.
18-year-old Ben Kindle gets you a huge goal in this hockey game. And it starts with Kindle winning the draw after Sid got tossed. And I love the way the Penguins moved it around, take what is given, keep it simple. It's a low, hard, with a purpose bomb of a one-timer by Erik Karlsson. That set all the dominoes in motion. That was complete chaos, not only for the Wild, but especially for Philip Gustafsson. He got himself spinning around in the blue paint. The puck was bouncing everywhere, off of Rust, off the post, off of Gustafsson, onto the stick of Ben Kindle, and he's able to take that bouncing puck, chip it into the goal, and it's 3-1. Good guys.
3 NHL goals in 10 NHL games for Ben Kindle. The Penguins, who killed off all 3 penalties against the Minnesota Wild, scored 13 seconds into their first power play of the night.
The #1 power play in the league has been shut down so far here tonight.
And we shouldn't mention, the Minnesota Wild came in with the worst penalty kill that is in the NHL.
When's the last time you saw that?
I couldn't tell you. Penguins also out shooting Minnesota right now, 28-23. They lead 3-1 with 11:40 to play in regulation. Kindle feeds it to Novak. Couldn't get it cleanly over the Wild line. Hit back to Ryan Shea. Chris Letang dumps it into the Wild zone. Bounced off a player and then off the side of the cage. Koivunen still looking for that first NHL goal. Popped up the puck in the high slot, but then kept it alive. Ben Kindle down to the ice. Couldn't keep the puck cleanly as it's sent back into the Penguin zone. Now taken the other way, but Middleton sweeps it out of harm's way for Minnesota. Then along the far boards, it's snapped over to Koivunen. He takes it over the Wild line. Down to the half wall, shovels it to the corner. He pitched up and back down by Crosby as he wraps up Booyam along the boards. Pulled out by Koivunen in the corner. Up to the point for Letang. Cross ice Ryan Shea. Wrists one. Redirection won't go.
Ryan Shea just figuring it out, man. He is getting the answers to the test.
Wild cough it up. Crosby feeds Koivunen, rather Hollander, and a sprawling save from Gustafsson. Robbing a goal away from Philip Hollander. Hollander can't believe it.
Lesson learned right there. Philip Hollander thought he had a wide open net. And so he just was going to easily just throw it in after a ridiculous pass from Sidney Crosby. Gave Hollander that chance. Goaltenders in the NHL are athletic, and they have unbelievable will to keep the puck out of the net. You got to put that thing up where Mama keeps the peanut butter, underneath the crossbar, and that's a ridiculous save by Philip Gustafsson to keep it 3-1 Penguins.
Penguins out shooting the Wild now 30-23. And out shooting the Wild in the last two periods, 24-10. Dumba a try, pad save, Gustafsson, second attempt, and Mantha kicks it off the side of the cage. In the near corner, Juracek tries to pull it out for the Wild as Malkin sends it deep again. Scooped up by Foligno, will send it to the far side, spun around the boards to Hartman. Out to the neutral zone, but it jumped off the skate of Malkin. Juracek into the Penguin zone a little bit awkwardly. Still chipped up into the air, down to the far corner, jumped off the shelf. Malkin pulls the puck out of harm's way, but only able to get it to the far half wall. Now Hartman, far point, crossover to Hinostroza, near circle wrister, and a good block from Matt Dumba getting in the way.
Good recovery. It looked like Hinostroza going to walk that in.
A whiff of a one-timer from the far circle. Wild still with it. Booyam in the high slot. Sends it towards the net. Went wide due to traffic. The near half boards, it's Hartman. Dumba had him wrapped up, but he still got it to Booyam at the point, who sends it back down to Hartman. Near half wall, gets it to the circle for Hinostroza. He curls around the hash marks. Cross-ice pass. Juracek, a backhand shot. Jari got a piece of it. Loose puck to the near corner. Mantha tries to chip it out, can only get it up to the half wall. Now Malkin will take it, and a tired bunch of Penguins will softly dump it into the Wild end as Mantha is able to get it in there, and the Penguins can finally get a change. 9:20 left here in Minnesota. Penguins lead 3-1. Chipped up into the air, tumbling puck into the Wild zone. It's taken by Booyam. Cross ice to Brodin. Now back into the Penguin zone. Jari slowed it down with his stick, but it still went in behind the net. Spun around the boards by Minnesota to Brodin at the near half wall. Wrapped up into the corner by Wotherspoon. Puck squirts out to Nola Chari. Given to Lake Lazan in the neutral zone. Backhand chip down to the far corner. Tarasenko slides it over to the near side. Past Lazat, but over to Carlson. Along the wall, he'll send it deep. Dewar waiting in behind the net. Crunched into the boards by Tarasenko. Dewar still got the puck. Plays it up the far boards to Wotherspoon. It jumped off his stick, though. He'll have to settle things down in the neutral zone back in the Penguins' end. 8.5 to play in Minnesota. Penguins lead the Wild 3-1 as Kindle feeds it to Koivunen. A little bit out of his reach, but he still races it down in the near corner. Below the goal line, Kindle races after it against Kaprizov. Kaprizov to the near side, jumped off the stick of Middleton, and now Koivunen crunched into the boards as Novak feeds it up to Letang. In the slot, wrister saved by Gustafsson with a glove hand. 3-1, the Penguins lead here in Minnesota. We've got 8:10 to go in regulation. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Do you know an educator that goes above and beyond for their students? Highmark and the Pittsburgh Penguins want to celebrate the educators who make a difference every day. Nominate an outstanding educator for the Highmark Most Valuable Educator Contest for their chance to win the ultimate away game trip, including round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and tickets to see the Penguins take on the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden on February 28th. Nominate your favorite educator today at PittsburghPenguins.com/contests. That's PittsburghPenguins.com/contests.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Never Ending 90s presents Ezra Ray Hart, 90s hits and Xmas riffs. Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray. Kevin Griffin of Better Than Ezra. And Emerson Hart of Tonic. If you could only see. A night of all the hits. November 20th, 7 p.m. The Event Center at Rivers Casino. Tickets make the perfect holiday gift. Visit riverscasino.com for tickets. Don't miss Ezra Ray Hart Live.
Penguins with a 3-1 lead here with 8:10 to go in the third period. 2 goals by the Pens. The first grabbed their first lead of the night. And then Ben Kindle with a power play goal to make it a 2-goal advantage.
We'll stick tap to Connor Dewar. It was Connor Dewar that drew the penalty on Tyler Pitlick that put the Penguins on the power play.
Their first one of the night. They cashed in on a goal 13 seconds in. Now Rossi into the Penguins zone. Couldn't get a clean shot off thanks to Chris Letang with a poke check. And the Penguins break it out the other way. Kindle races after it in the neutral zone. He's got Koivu into his right. Slows down, feeds it up to Letang, who was not onside yet. Has to settle it down in the neutral zone and sling it back into the Wild end.
Keep everything north, Ben. Everything north.
7:40 to play here in Minnesota. Penguins lead by 2. Wild take it up to the neutral zone. As Middleton drops it down to the near corner in the Penguins' end. Pickering swings it up the wall, taken by Dumba. He'll flip it out to the neutral zone. Brodin swats it the other way. Hartman chips it down to the far corner. And Dumba gets in front of Kaprizov to take the puck away, but Kaprizov takes it right back, then crashes into the boards on his own accord. Or maybe not.
I'm going to call Dumba here for a trip.
This will send the Wild on their 4th power play of the night.
Pittsburgh penalty number 87, 2 minutes, tripping.
87, I did not see Sid get in there. Did you?
I didn't.
That was Dumba. Dumba got hunted down by Kaprizov. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's... You know, the league's got to start looking at this. Sid gave a little tap to the shin guards to Kaprizov, and Kaprizov went down like somebody hit him with an axe. Like the league needs to start looking at this kind of embellishment. Like, listen, when I played, I dove, but I didn't do it in a way to embarrass the referees like Kaprizov did right there. That's really, it's over the line. And I think it's something the league needs to just take a look at. And don't be afraid to call the embellishment. If you really want to call Sid there for tapping them on the shin guards, make sure you call Kaprizov for embellishment.
Penguins are trying to stay perfect on the penalty kill tonight. 1:35 to go on it. Wild are back in the Penguin zone. Kaprizov in the slot, down to the corner for Boldy. Shot on net, saved by Jari. Boldy picks up the rebound. Brings it over to the near side. One arms it over to the point. Tarasenko's pass got broken up by Achari, and he had to bring it down to the near corner, but the Wild were offside. Meanwhile, Wotherspoon will crank it all the way down.
Again, that's just pressure. That's aggressiveness by Noel Achari to force Tarasenko to do something he didn't want to do. An extra move, it was offside.
Not only are the Penguins perfect on the PK so far tonight, they've limited the Wild to just 3 power play shots on goal. And the Penguins, meanwhile, are 1 for 1 in shots on goal on the power play as they clear it on down again. 50 seconds to go on the Penguins PK. Kaprizov hustling with the puck to the neutral zone, takes it over the Penguins line, cuts through, it went off the stick of Boldy. Philip Hollander's got the loose puck, he'll clear it down.
Kaprizov just slammed his stick on the ice, and he goes to the bench. And the Penguins are really frustrating the skilled players for the Minnesota Wild.
25 seconds to go on the Penguins PK. They're back in the Penguins zone along the far boards. Johansson shovels it down along the wall. Carlson slows it down, but Hartman still gets it back to Johansson. Around the boards in behind the net for Jari. He stopped it for Wotherspoon. Spit over to the far side. Carlson backhands it along the boards. 10 seconds to go on the PK. Hollander's got the puck in the neutral zone. Takes it over the Wild line. Down to the corner. A backhand shot off the end of the wall. Sid standing up. He's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Penguins are 4 for 4 on the PK tonight against the top power play unit in the NHL. 5 minutes left here in Minnesota. That means it's Big Mac time. Penguins score in the final 5 minutes of a game this year. You win a free Big Mac. Offer valid for 3 days following the game with the Penguins score on the Big Mac attack. Just download the McDonald's app and receive a free Big Mac with purchase. As the Pens ship it out to the neutral zone again, they've got a 3-1 lead over the Wild. Jonas Brodin playing keep away in his own end. Malkin slows down the pass, trying to feed it to Mantha, but it's taken away by Middleton. Chipped along the near boards. Letang sends it deep into the Wild zone. They'll have to play it. 4:20 to go in regulation. Penguins lead 3-1. As Yurov sends it deep into the Penguin zone. Ryan Shea quick to get to it, spun it around the boards. Now sent over to the near side. Middleton sends it deep again. Didn't get through traffic. Played up to the high slot. Middleton with an outstretched stick keeps it alive for the Wild. Backhand shot wide of the net. Trennan with a forehand shot kept out by Jari and a slow rolling puck to the neutral zone.
Trennan was all by himself in front of Jari, but it's a bouncing puck. So Jari, almost like a defenseman, that hot poker knocks it off the stick of Trennan.
Jiricek with a wrister. That didn't go. And then the second attempt on the near side from Trennan wouldn't either. High slot Bouillon. Near circle Rossi. Centering pass won't connect. Far corner for Jiricek. Shovels the puck. Didn't get through traffic on his wrister. Loose puck to the far circle. Johansson with it to the high slot. Now brings it over to the near side. Shot on that stick. Save Jari. Rebound to the far corner. Malkin with it. He'll chip it up to the neutral zone. Bouillon paws it down. Takes it back into the Penguin zone. 3:20 to go in regulation. Penguins by 2. In the near corner, centering pass. Couldn't connect with Kaprizov. Jiricek plays it off the far wall. Gustafsson still in his net at the moment as Kaprizov sends it down to the corner to Johansson. Swings it over to the near side for Bouillon, half wall. Backskates it to the point. Slows things down. Down to the corner for Johansson below the goal line. In behind Jari's net. Takes it over to the far side. Cranks it up to the far point. Kaprizov walks the blue line. High slot. 3 minutes to go. One-timer Jiricek pass save Jari.
Hines wants Gustafsson. There he goes.
Bouillon with it at the far point. He does a dance around Nola Chari. Now to the high slot. 6-on-5 for the Wild. Penguins lead 3-1 here in the third. Shot doesn't get through traffic. Mantha's got it for the empty net. He scores! A 4-1 lead for the Penguins with 2:42 to go in the third. To nearly ice this one in Minnesota, but the Penguins with 4 unanswered goals against the Wild.
Wow. That's from about 145 feet away. Anthony Mantha goes bullseye on the ENG to give the Penguins a 3-goal bulge. Penguins have just been so smart. Situational hockey. You know, where they were down the goal, things weren't going their way, they didn't panic. They just went right back to work. And boy, if they've been good defensively, as well as Tristan Jari, just being a rock back there in goal for the Penguins.
The same types of habits, the same types of good trends. Again, the Penguins had their worst period in the first, and it wasn't even that poorly performed of a period. They were outshot 13-6, but they were shorthanded twice.
Yeah. It was just the Wild where they came to play. They played like a desperate club, and they are. You look at where they are in the standings.
Wild ice it down, 2:04 to go, with the Penguins leading 4-1.
Well, unleashing AI takes brain power and real power from right here in Pittsburgh. EQT fuels the innovation driving the next big play. EQT, unleashing America's energy future.
Well, the Penguins are 2 minutes and 4 seconds away from extending their point streak to 8 straight games. They're looking for their 8th win to close out the month of October, 8-2-2. As the Wild take the puck out of their zone, snap it over to Hinostroza. He's got it in the Penguin zone. He gets stripped of the puck by Matt Dumba. Ville Koivunen over the Wild line, far circle. Wrapped up by Hinostroza, lost the puck in the corner. Popped over to the far wall. Trennan, the backhanded pass, will get it to Middleton as Minnesota resets, but 1:35 to go in regulation. Penguins with a 4-1 lead over the Wild. Trennan now hustling over the Penguins line, down to the corner. Trying a tough angle shot, never pulled the trigger. A shot from Yurov, sailed high, skims the netting. 1:22 to go.
Great stick by Billy Koivunen. There it is again. It's a little thing. This has been a culmination here tonight of little things. Because the Wild have not played that bad. They've had chances, but the Penguins at times have been stifling them defensively, where they're in great shooting position. And when they do actually get the shot through, Tristan Jarry has just been a rock back there.
26 saves tonight for the Penguins goaltender. And the one goal he's allowed, hardly his fault. Ryan Shea, a wrister wide of the net. Brennan with it at the far wall. Connor Dewar muscles the puck out for a moment, but now it's taken by Yurov. He'll skate into the neutral zone, dump it down into the Penguins' end. Final minute here in Minnesota. Penguins with a 4-1 lead. Brennan gets it over to Pitlick. Tough angle shot. Shoulder save from Jarry. Puck in behind Jarry's net. As it's punched up to the point, Bouillon walks the blue line. High slot. Taps it over to Trennan. Gate to stick. Saved by Ryan Shea, it looked like, in front of Tristan Jarry. 25 seconds to go here in Minnesota. Shea to Wotherspoon. Back over to Ryan Shea, who scored his second goal of the season, has 2 points tonight.
That's it.
That's going to do it here at the Grand Casino Arena. The Penguins come into Minnesota, and they shun the top power play unit in the NHL. And 12 games into the season, no team has more points than the Pittsburgh Penguins. 8-2-2. Pens win again.
Sleep well, Penguin fans, because when you wake up in the morning, and whether you're checking PittsburghPenguins.com, NHL.com, or wherever you go to get your hockey knowledge, on the top of the mountain, you're going to see your Pittsburgh Penguins, #1 in the National Hockey League.